Yeah.
Henko kiida batagia.
Henko kiida batagia. Y'all. You say y'all.
Y'all tiger, Henko
Y'all. Y'all henko kiida batagia.
Y'all
That means I hope you have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
If you put y'all henko kiida.
Okay. Y'all Henko kiida.
Kiowa is really, really treacherous. I've even got a phone call where somebody asked me to tell them how you say it's snowing outside. And then they argued with me. They said, "You're saying Sapdo." I said, "I told them total Sapdo." And he said, "You're saying it's raining." I said, "It's raining snow." Nobody can ever get Kiowa straight. There's no right way. Your own way is the right way.
Dane wrote it in the chat box.
Yeah. And that's all. And you're going to always get someone to correct you, but say, "This is the way I heard it." And you're right. You guys had some good teachers.
Well, so they sang on they like New Year.
Thought they
Sang on they.
thought they It'll come to me about midnight tonight.
Oh,
Can somebody write in the chat? Hope you have a good Christmas the way y'all just said it. Y'all Henko kiida batagia, right?
it's in there. Dane put it in there.
Dane wrote it in.
All right. Aho.
So let's see. Yeah, if you could keep typing in the chat box as we catch some of these words, that'd be awesome. For the chat box with everyone on the call. If you'd like to receive copies of the slides that we're presenting, that we'll be singing, we do have copies, and we do have a mailing list for the Anadarko and Norman group. So if you'd like to be on that list, or if you'd like a follow-up email from this outreach with the notes, feel free to put your email in the chat box. Or if you think we already have your email between me and Cricket, we might have your email. Just let us know. But let us know. Send it to me. So put it in the chat box that you'd like a follow-up email.
Did you get Brenda?
She is logging in.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, and there's Miss Pat. Hi, Miss Pat.
We got.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Jacob.
How are you?
Okay. Look good.
Tell Tommy I said hello. Thank you. Tell Tommy I said hello.
I will. I'll tell him.
Oh.
Are y'all on?
It's Jacob.
Earphones on, so y'all won't be having.
Paul.
Would you please tell him that once I was I had good behavior. I was on the Indian school board.
You were on my parent committee and you served well.
And it sounds like I'm bragging when I put it on my resume.
You set a good example for the others.
Ahoy. Ahoy. And
Ahoy.
The only one I had trouble with was Lois Parker. So
yeah.
You can tell her that.
I'll tell her.
I'll
tell her as soon as I hang up.
Yeah. Okay. I'll hear about it.
You got folks here.
No, but
in Anadarko.
Dorothea, I'm so sorry for your loss. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I had thanked them. That was it's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I really loved visiting with her.
Oh gosh, she's a smart lady.
Yeah, she was fun.
She just one of the ladies at one of the places.
I have no water now.
Thank you, Jacob, very much. That touched me.
I loved her. I really enjoyed all your sisters, all your
We
sisters.
can see you when you do it.
Those two last ones, they were,
Yeah,
they were something else, I'll tell you.
Bobby.
they were.
No,
They were.
Oh, I made mine put those earphones on so it won't be feedback. Yeah. Is it working?
yes, again.
I mean, are you getting feedback?
No.
It's a good.
All right.
Bobby, Lewis, you let us look in your ear.
Okay.
Dang, Lewis, see your earwax.
Oh, they get bone. You would say, oh, they get bone.
Awesome. Let's see. Is Brenda on? Brenda, did you make it?
You know,
She said she was on earlier.
Yeah, she was on earlier with me, but
Well, that's basic. We got knocked off.
Brenda said she's waiting to try to get in.
Okay. I just messaged, so hopefully she'll let us know.
Come on, Hope, go.
Ah,
What is it, a quarter till?
it's 8 minutes till.
Okay.
I sent the email.
Late. Well, it's ending time anyway.
And if anyone says Indian time, I'm gonna. No such thing.
Brenda's not on yet.
Especially if I'm going someplace, I'm ready 30 minutes ahead of time.
Oh, that's good.
All right, let me just get this info to Brenda so she has the right info.
Okay. I'm almost home.
Awesome.
They
Is
saw you.
Kevin on?
Kevin's waiting for you.
Okay. Because I don't want to have to set it up. I just want to be on.
He said, be quick, but don't hurry.
Well, I'm on Lindsay, so I'm almost there.
All right, I think we have everything.
Is she on, Brenda?
Isn't she doing introductions?
Yeah, she's having trouble with the email, so I'm trying to troubleshoot with her to get it the right one.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, guys. This is always happens with our tech stuff. I mean, not always, but it's apt to happen.
Yeah, you never know what to expect
Mm-hmm.
with technology.
They ruined their own cause. You do something to be ahead, and if you don't do, I prefer the old way.
In person is the best. Now hey Warren, you might know, or maybe Jacob. So the Cherokees are doing their they're getting the vaccine and they put their speakers on the highest priority. Are Kiowa's getting vaccine? And
Well, I have to interrupt you. Right across my screen is Cricket's phone. It's written on the black screen.
Yeah, that's me.
Hold
y'all
on.
hear?
I have not heard Cricket, and when that really should be a priority, I agree.
And yeah, so I was hoping, our Kiowas even getting it, or are they not, because we don't have our own individual clinic or hospital?
Yeah, no, Lawton Hospital is getting it, and it'll be up to the regional advisory board to set the priorities.
Okay, so it's not like the Cherokees where they have their own and they
have control. Yeah, they have control. We do not.
Okay.
Same with the Osages. They have the control of their own clinics.
Yeah.
So that's why they prioritize their speakers and their Congress first.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make health a priority, which we haven't done.
I'd take it if they had it right now.
No, everyone over 70 should.
Yes.
I'm not over 70 yet. Though. Okay.
I'm not either, but I would take it.
Well, congratulations.
Hey, shit, I wish I was over 70.
All
I'm
right.
gonna be
I think we have
88
everyone
this
on.
week.
Brenda, are you on? On in the room?
I
Oh, my.
am.
Congratulations,
Finally.
Dorothy.
Oh, Brenda, okay.
Yay. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. So to go ahead and get us started, I am going to turn it over to Carolyn. Carolyn, you might be on mute.
Okay. Deonde babon, deonde be oik arte, goi hanga, kida, eight don ye do. Wonderful to see you again. Wonderful we are able to meet again. We are going to talk about Kiowa Christmas stories. And we will start with our elders. Do you have the agenda up there? Okay. We will have our opening prayer by Mrs. Brenda Sullivan.
Let's bow for prayer, please. Thank you, Jesus, for a beautiful day. Lord, it was cool, but we enjoyed it. So, Lord, we thank you that you've given us the way to walk in the Kiowa way. Lord, we pray that you would help us to have clarity and that we would honor our elders at this time as we gather together. We love you, Lord, and we thank you for this time. We'll give it to you all in Jesus' name for your honor and glory. Amen.
Aho.
Amen.
Oh,
And Cricket, are you going to talk about the KLCRP? That's what's on the screen next. I don't know if she's home yet.
We might have lost Cricket. I think
Yes.
she's still driving.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm with Kevin. Yes. So we're going to talk about the KLCRP.
Yes.
Okay. So this grant, Melody had the idea for this grant and wrote it, what was it, 5 or 6 years ago? About 5.5 years ago. And she wanted to hit the main sites of the highest population of Kiowas that are registered in as voters. And so those 5 sites are the Tulsa area, the Oklahoma City area, the Anadarko area, the Lawton area, and the Carnegie area. So that's how we got the 5 sites. And there are 3 main objectives to this grant, and that one is to develop interest, which is what we're doing now with the outreaches, and develop interest in wanting to learn Kiowa language. 2 is to develop teachers, so we can have people, once people are interested, we'll have teachers to be able to teach Kiowa, because there's a lot of stuff you have to learn to teach something, not just how to speak it, but how to teach, how to be a teacher. So we're trying to learn that as well as learn Kiowa. So we have a mentor program, and at each site has a mentor, a speaker, and it will eventually have 5 candidates come out of each site. So at the end of the grant period, 5-year period, we will have 25 teachers in different levels of teaching, from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to the one last year. And at each site, there was a MOU signed with the Indian Education Director, in each one of those areas. And so that we be working with developing interest in winning a program in the school systems there and the community there. So teachers don't necessarily have to be certified teachers to teach Kiowa language in the school system. They could be community teachers. They could go teach at a college if they have their degrees. So that's the point of this teacher mentor elder program. And then the third objective is to develop materials, because if you try to teach French or Spanish or German, you're going to have lots of materials. Well, if you try to teach a native language, if you try to teach Kiowa, we don't have any lesson plans made, that kind of stuff. So a lot of the lesson plans are being developed within this program. And so there's lots of materials that are written in there that will be done by the end of the 5 years, recordings, videos, some of them are already going up, and lots of teaching materials. And the teacher candidates are developing lesson plans to go be able to go and start teaching, whether you're in a community classroom or in a elementary classroom, a high school classroom, or just teaching your family Kiowa and Kiowa ways. So those are the 3 objectives of this grant and the 5 sites. So we have, we've had a lot of losses lately. So that one's kind of a hard one to talk about. But right now, we have Grandma Dorothy Whitehorse is a candidate at, is a mentor, sorry, is a mentor, speaker, elder in the Anadarko area, and her alternate is Brenda Sullivan. And the candidates at Anadarko are Anthony Asatemi, Misty Bointy, Pat Kopsa, and Chelsea Wright. Then in the next area, Norman area, I guess, is next. And we have Miss Harriger. The Norman area is where we're having the Oklahoma City, Central Oklahoma area. And we have Dolores Harriger as our elder mentor speaker. And Velma Eisenberger is her alternate. Our teacher candidates are Carolyn Kale, Dawn Parker, Dane Pula, Cricket Roads Connie Wordy, Marie Takoidi, and Courtney Sotai. Then in our other areas, let's see what we have next. Which one's up next? Lawton area, I guess. Oh, what do we have next? Oh, we're not going to talk about all of them. Okay. Well, we have a Lawton area and a Carnegie area and a Tulsa area that have different teacher candidates and mentors. Okay, that's all. I think Courtney is going to talk about what we're going to, about the different churches. She did some research, and she is going to talk about the different Kiowa mission churches and the contemporary ones that we still have today. So I'll turn it over to you, Courtney.
You're on mute.
Hello. Okay. The one thing I wanted to share, just looking at as we're looking at this and kind of how I thought about it, And the way we've been learning about it within our language sessions is that all of our families, somewhere in our line of relatives, all ascend or likely ascend from these churches that you see on the screen. And we all have stories or memories. And if not one of these churches, then one of the original ones. And then we'll see on the next slide, as our churches have evolved and as they've grown, just as our Kiowa people have. And this shows you the churches that are recognized as Kiowa churches today. So as you can see, despite the hardships of the past and the missionaries' attempt, and how they converted some of our elders and our grandparents, our Kiowa people's faith and spirituality has remained steadfast and close to our Creator, so that we can remain. But if you can go back to the previous slide of what was shown, I'll go through these pronunciations for you all. For Elk Creek, and now I'm going to do the best that I can. And if there's a correction,
I'm going to go ahead and put them on the side for you,
feel free
the
to
spellings
correct
for
me.
you, so when you do them.
On Goop All. And Rainy Mountain, Sape Yadoda. Saddle Mountain, Tahoe. Cedar Creek, Ahimpa. And Botone, we didn't have a pronunciation or any translation or anything like that for that one. And then moving on to Mount Scott, Cope Adel, and Redstone, Sogoodle, Methvin. Again, we didn't have any additional notes on Methvin. And then St. Patrick's is Dine Sayiga. And then Dane's putting some notes in the chat box, and I appreciate Dane for going over some of those or going over all of those with us and sharing some of the notes that he's posting in the chat. And he's including some of the notes on there, for example, on So Goodle, how the word stems from different parts. So, and then this one, of course, this is what I mentioned earlier, the Kiowa churches of today. You can see how many various denominations and representation that we have throughout Oklahoma that's represented here. And maybe you or your families all are, maybe your families have a connection to one of these churches, and we're going to hear some really good stories and memories. I know for my family, what I can remember is that my hearing from my dad, John, is the church he was born at was Cedar Creek, whenever our grandpa and his dad, Jacob Sherwood Sotai, was a pastor. He served Cedar Creek at one time, and that's where he was born at. I don't know if my Uncle Jacob that's where he was born at too, or not, but and then I think he retired from serving churches at Mount Scott Comanche and Mount Scott Kiowa. I think he retired at Mount Scott Kiowa, but that can be clarified. But these are the churches that you see today that are represented within the tribe, and how the tribe provides support to them. in some of their activities and events like Christmas. A big contribution is made towards these churches in their Christmas services that extend to all of our families. So I hope, and I'm going to pass it on to Carolyn.
Okay, next, we're going to have our
You're
Kiowa
unmuted,
mentors.
Carolyn.
Next, we're having our Kiowa elders share their memories. Dorothy, did you want to go
Yeah,
next?
she's first.
Mrs. Dorothy Whitehorse Stallone.
Okay. Put my pictures on there. I look at the pictures of our elders right here. My sister handed that to me. And your heart floods with loneliness, but then it's good memories. I have memories of old Redstone Baptist Church. And I have Ware's Chapel, it used to be called Tsetseyo. I was born there. I'm a native of Hall Creek. I was born there in a teepee when my folks were camped there for Christmas in 1933. They had a snowstorm, and I was expected, so I was born there, and I feel like I have a connection for that whole area. My dad belonged to Native American Church and various other organizations. My mother was a baptized Baptist she was a student at Rainy Mountain, St. Yalda. And the Palmers and the Whitehorses were all Roman Catholics because the missionaries got us before Methvin did. And we all ended up at St. Patrick's. And I had a connection with every one of the churches. Pretty soon I didn't even know where I belonged, but Brenda and I decided that was okay to say that because we all pray to the same Lord, regardless of who it is. And the memories come flooding back of different things that women did. My mother was with the Redstone ladies. I know their Indian names, as some of them are identified here from the 1930s. All people that lived toward Carnegie and had their start here. And we're just all scattered. That means we're all mixed up now. My memories are of Sherwood Zotai going to the pulpit, and he was the first pastor I remember that on his way to the pulpit, he would, in that big booming voice, start a beautiful church song and then come into his sermon. I remember the ones at Hall Creek. I remember the older ones, the Wares, and that's why I'm talking about that. Dolores and I probably are the only ones that remember things like that, where they butchered. In 1900, at the turn of the century, there's a big encampment at Redstone. And on Christmas Eve, there were 2 babies born in the campground. They would have prayer meetings before that and all kind of things. And there were 2 babies born that night. One was a little boy and the other one was a little girl. And we were all related through that valley. And it turned out to be Mary Keybone. She was the girl that was born, and they named her Mary. And the little boy they named him Joseph. That was Joe Pula. His mother was Zonte. We happen to be all related, every one of us. And that's a beautiful story because they were born at the turn of the century, and she was a Mopoke, Cindy Keybone, grandma, and she married Edgar Keybone. And his name is on one of the windows as one of the earliest deacons at Redstone Baptist Church. I remember we had our choices of where we could go when they had prayer meetings or they had Bible school. I love to go to Redstone because they made the first pimento cheese sandwiches. And it was just one big family. It didn't matter where you ended up. It was beautiful country through there. I have my memories of the Christmas programs where everybody my age and back, when we seen a hanko, that's a Christmas tree. It's just full of joy, but the preachers could preach almost all night. They'd be sitting there still talking, and you'd think, I wish they'd hurry, I'm going to sleep. And be so thankful for one little doll and an apple and an orange. And nowadays we have to hunt for all kind of expensive gadgets. That's how much times have changed. Goigu yat audit. Kaiwas are nice. Kaiwas fantaga yem tonto. We talked good to each other. Hangap eyal bonga. You could hear them laughing through the camps. The friendliness, the generosity. It just brings you to tears when you sit there and to think those days are, I hope with you for your future being go, we could never hope to compare to their beautiful generosity and the beauty of them. I can't say anything bad about Motan. Don't forget that. Yet ore go ba Motan. Conte and the dota. Poor thing, I'm trying to teach. Don't get go bagel. I missed the words, but I'm doing my best for y'all. And hopefully my prayers every day are with you guys. I'm looking at my grandma Kibon right here. She's a beautiful woman. If we could only, but those days aren't coming back. We'll just have to pray and do best that we follow their example, because always remember, Goigu, we're always first in everything because we're generous and we're motan. That's all. I hope.
Okay. Next, we're going to have Dolores Toibo Harriger from her memories of growing up at Rainy Mountain, Kiowa Ended Baptist Church.
Well, I'll have to begin with the history of the church. And on January the 22nd in 1893, the first Kiowa Baptist converts were baptized in the Washita River near present-day Anadarko. They were gathered there and camped there for some kind of annuity payment that they got periodically, and missionaries came through their camps. And so consequently, they were converted and they were baptized on that day, January 22nd, 1893. And then the following, that December 25th, 1893 was the first Kiowa Christmas among the Kiowas. And after their conversion, the two missionary women returned to the Running Mountain Creek area where this group who were baptized, they were mainly from that area. And so that was the beginning of the first Christmas. And the way that we celebrate Christmas at Rainy Mountain is patterned after the way that they celebrated the Lord's birth on Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve or whatever, but it's Christmas Day that night. And so there were many camps. You can see there on the first Christmas, they still lived in teepees like you see in that picture, but there was a frame structure somewhere near Big Tree's camp, and that's where the first Christmas was held. And we listened the other day to Kiowa Culture Program tape recording where James Silverhorn and some other men were talking about their Christmas memories, and it was all in Kiowa, and it was beautiful. Of course, Kiowa was beautiful, and they were talking about their memories, and they talked about being dull. They said that all the elders, they looked forward to that, and they really enjoyed Christmas and camping. And so Kiowas like to camp, because I think it's because it's reminiscent of the way that they grew up, where they camped in bands. So any opportunity, it seems that when they camped, and so they did camp at Christmas. And I'll read from one of, I have a little booklet that we have at Rainy Mountain for, we all shared our Christmas memories. And then there were letters or that the missionaries wrote back to their home mission society describing their Christmas. And Mrs. King said in 1930, how many would choose Christmas time for camping? It does seem a strange time of the year to put up tents and live much of outdoors, but that's what happens at Rainy Mountain every year. No matter what the weather is, rain, snow, sleet, or sunshine, Christians camp. And then 1930, when she wrote this, was 1923, she said there were 35 tents with many living in each tent. And so when we get to the camps, the men that we listened to today, they were talking about the camps and the beefs that were butchered. And so that's what happens at every camp. I'm trying to go through the happenings that went along with Christmas. It was the camps. There were many camps, and the memories that they have. They talk about how warm and cozy the tents were, even though it was wintertime. And then they had camps, and then they had, the men talked about the church service. And then one missionary, he was visiting from the East. He was a official in the American Baptist, among the American Baptists. And he said the year was a 1923. It was 1922, I'm sure, because for 1923, there were 13 beeves pledged and 1 pig. And so that shows you that they were, in addition to their monetary gifts, they pledged these animals to feed the camp. And there's just so much to talk about. And I know as I listened to these elders talking, they talked about the tree, the cedar tree. And that's what my memory is at Rainy Mountain. They were, and during their testimonies, they would invariably, almost everyone who spoke, elder, they would mention the fact that they were very glad to see the tree, the cedar tree. There was always a live cedar tree in the sanctuary, and just as you see there. And they spoke of how good the Lord was to them, so that they were able to see the tree, meaning that the Lord led them through another year for another Christmas. And those are the I'm just like Dorothy was talking, the preachers talked too long. All that was a very painful and long time for the children. But when I look back as an adult of 91 years old, that's the most memorable, is to hear the beautiful testimonies in Kiowa, speaking of what the Lord has done for them. And during some of these services, I think it was 1905, one of the missionaries mentions that they baptized five people on Christmas Day. I don't know what the weather was like, but 5 people were baptized on Christmas Day at Rainy Mountain in 1905. And then another important, the order of service was usually worship service, and then where they had their testimony and the time of giving and pledging. And then throughout they sang Kiowa songs, and then I wanted to mention that the tree was also given as a gift to the church for the Christmas. It was usually on someone's property. The tree, this individual would give it for the church to use. And then after all of this, Santa Claus came, and that was always a fun time, because Kiowa, Santa Claus in the old days spoke Kiowa, and he was always, there were, even the missionaries mentioned it from the east, that was a fun time when and the Santa always had a joke gift, usually for adults. They gave those out first, and then I don't know what my joke was there, but anyway, I got that year. And then the children received their gifts, and at the end, they at the end of the service, they handed out treats to everyone. So that was the order of what they usually did. And then you saw all those churches, they did the same thing. Most of all of their memories that you'll hear, that they camped, and they had a wonderful time, just like Dorothy said, to hear the visiting that went on. They're all accustomed to that. They're used to that. And the elders, and that's why the men stress that the old people, the elders, are the ones who really stress Christmas and the fellowship and everything that was just a part of who they were and how Kiowas lived in the old days. And so now at Rainy Mountain, we still strive to follow what they did. And we have a live tree every year. And for the first Christmas, missionary, Mrs. Marietta Resite, asked Godebo if he would not compose a song for Christmas. And it's my understanding that he was reluctant at first, because she said he left all those ways, and he was reluctant, but she explained about Christmas and about Christmas carols. And so he composed the song that we'll hear later. And then also the elders, the deacons at Rainy Mountain, always said the Christmas story from Luke 2, and we'll hear that later. And those are things that are my memories from Rainy Mountain. And as I said, all the churches you saw, they all had those. And I've heard a lot of people talk about Santa Claus and all the joke gifts he gave. I remember hearing those stories, and that was always people remembered those, and that was always a fun time after the very serious and a worshipful part of the Kiowa Christmas was the Santa Claus's appearance and his gifts, the joke gifts, and then the gifts for the children. And so I think my time has expired, but that's my memories of Rainy Mountain.
Okay. Next we have Mrs. Velma Eisenberger.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Velma Dumbo Silverhorn Eisenberger. Aoi goton tai akoi kon. And we just heard memories from Dorothy with the 80-year-old and then the 90-year-old. And then my memories are like during the early 60s. And my grandfather, John Abawan, was the preacher at Little Red Church. And that's how, you know, I remember camping out there at the church. And we had those canvas tent and the wood stove in the middle. And it kept the tent really warm. And just like the other ladies talked about, we had worship and then my grandpa liked to preach a long time, but anyway, and we had our Christmas tree there, and we had a real a strong youth group, and we would put on the Christmas play, and then I remember we went out to Christmas caroling. And so we're very active in church, and but Christmas was a really, really special. And you know, to me, that's where I try to live my life the way that I observe my grandparents and their generosity, especially my grandmother, Hattie Silverhorn Abawan. And she would always try to give to everybody. And but like it was said earlier, Kai was our very generous people. I have a picture somewhere of my grandfather and Harry Dumbo, and I could not find those pictures. So, and then another memory I have was at one time was going to Redstone. And I remember thinking at that time, wow, this is the most wonderful Christmas, because I actually got, I got a doll, I got dishes, and I got a bicycle. And that was really, I mean, the best Christmas I ever had. So, but my memories are, I have very fond memories of Christmas. And that was during the early 60s. And I thank you very much.
Next, we will have Mrs. Pat Coopsaw.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pat Coopsaw, and didn't put my Indian name down there, but it's Santatoya. That's my mother's name, and it was handed down to me. I'd like to talk about that picture first that's in there. That's my grandpa, Stanley Chano Akibo. And that's me standing beside him with the bushy hair. And that's my cousin, Tilly Chano Redbird. And I'm holding Rosemary Chano Akibo. And standing in front of Grandpa is my sister, Kay Goombai Cooper. Standing next to Grandpa is Tommy Chano. And then next to Tommy is Junior. I think that picture was taken at, I might be mistaken, but I think that picture was taken at Mountain Scott at the parsonage, close to the parsonage, because that's where my Uncle John was pastoring at that time. I grew up in a church. All I knew was church, because that's where my dad and mom took me as in church. And so I was afraid I would miss something, so I wrote down what I'm going to say. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read it, what I wrote today. These are some of the memories that I have of when I was young, and I was actually involved in this. I was there. I know there's a lot of you that are my age, And I want to tell you about my Christmas memories of the Kiowa Church. So let's go back in time. Now, this was long ago, about 6 or 7 miles south of Carnegie was a filling station and a grocery station too, and it was called Dirty Shame. And about 5 miles west and about 2 miles north, you would come to my grandpa Lee Callisty's house. And down the hill from there was a little church, and it was called Red Church. When you say Kiowa Christmas church, I go back to when I was young. About a week or 3 days before Christmas, you could see the camps being set up. This was called our Christmas revival. And this time, the men would go cut the trees and set it up, and there was a lot of visiting, and the women were busy with their gifts and cooking, and the men were busy, you know, taking care of cutting the wood and stuff like that. But the church, Little Red Church, what I remember about it, you know, this is a long time ago. It didn't have no flooring. It was dirt flooring. And in the middle of it sat a big pot-belly stove set in the middle of it. And there was no electricity then. There was no electricity in there. And hanging from the ceiling was lanterns. And it's the kind that you pump up, and they would go down dim, and we had one man on each side of the church, and they would get up and they would pump those lanterns so we could have the light. And it was Christmas Day, you know, was different from now. The women would be getting their on Christmas Day, the women would be getting their gifts ready, and the men would be sacking the treats. The service Christmas night was awesome. Most of it was spoken in Kiowa, and the men would lead the service, and we would always start off with a prayer. And then after the prayer, then they would ask for some Kiowa hymns. And then after that, this testimony would start. And just like Sister Dee was telling, that was very precious to hear. That was very precious to hear the Kiowa testimony, because they were all in Kiowa. They were all in Kiowa, and it would go on and go on like this, and way until the middle of the night seemed like, because I would get tired, you know. I would get tired because I was little then. I remember that I would get tired listening to and squirming around in my seat, but you know, they were enjoying it. Our elders were enjoying the service. It was an awesome service. You have to really be in it to really realize what I'm talking about, because it was all done in Kiowa, in our Kiowa language. The songs and the testimony and everything was done in our Kiowa language. Every once in a while, they would pop up with the English chorus, you know, they would sing or something like that, but it was all in Kiowa. It was very outstanding to me. I enjoy that. And then they would, just when I would think it would be time for Santa Claus to come in, well, they would come with those pledges. You know, that's what people would pledge. They would pledge, like, not only like money, they would pledge like beefs or groceries for next year, you know, because they camped out. And so that's what these groceries and these beef and everything would be, to feed the people that came back next year. And I remember Santa Claus coming in, but a long time ago, my mom would always make, we never did get dolls, you know. She would make our rag dolls, and I would have a rag doll. Every Christmas I would have a rag doll. And my dad was good at carving, and he would carve my brothers. He would carve them cars. But I remember this one Christmas when the missionaries bought some gifts to Little Red Church, and I remember getting that doll there, and I picked that doll up and looked at it, and it had its eyes were open, you know. And when I laid it down, its eyes shut. Y'all remember those dolls? and then I remember turning it over, and then when I turned it back over, it said, "Mama, Mama," you know. I never had those kind of dolls before, so it kind of amazed me. But there was some of the memories that I look back on when I was young. But this one time over at Red Church, when my dad, he knew how to make a good camp. He knew how to make a warm camp for us, putting that stove in the middle and lining that our tent up so we could stay warm. But I remember that one night we went to bed and went to sleep and everything, and we woke up the next morning and it was snowing, and the snow was covering the ground. And that was the most beautiful picture I've ever seen. It was out in the open. I was raised around the elders, and I enjoy being around elders. They are very precious in our tribe. And I just think I had a wonderful childhood. I thank my parents and my elders for giving me that memories that I can go back and look back on. Brings tears to my eyes. And I just want to thank you for letting me share this moment with you. And that's all. That's all I have about Little Red Church and Aho and
Thank
Omaha.
you.
Next, we will have memories from Mrs. Brenda Sullivan.
Oh,
Hello, my name is Brenda Paddle Sullivan, and Grandma Dorothy gave me the name Soguruma. And as long as what I've been told, I'm going to share memories from Redstone Baptist Church. But I believe that I was going to Redstone Christmas before I was even born. So that makes me long time, because I'm still going to Redstone. Of course, we moved from time to time, but never do I remember not being at Redstone on Christmas. I mean, we lived in different places, but we'd always come back. And there was a lot of stories and a lot of times when I was younger that everything, like everyone has said, was spoken in Kiowa. And I heard it since I can remember. I've heard Kiowa in prayer meetings and women and men praying and speaking in Kiowa. And so the transition is a lot different now. You know, it's not the same. The trees are gone from the side there. They didn't make it through after a couple of storms, and so they're no longer there. And that's very sad to us, because it's a beautiful, beautiful planning that our people did whenever they put the trees there. They started out, a lot of people have told us that they were just about the height of the windows there on the top, and they grew to that huge height. But storms came through from time to time, and they no longer are there. But the first church you see on the left, that was the first church. And I believe, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but on the little building there on the right side there was the dining hall, but I think it burned. So they took the boards from the big church there on the left to put in the church we have now. So we have a place there in the back where you can see the original boards that were there at the church. And like I said, Christmas, I'm kind of like Pat. I don't know. I know how old I am, but I don't know. My Christmas memories aren't quite the same. But I've heard, like Grandma telling us and my mom and dad telling us different things that happen. So one of the things I remember, or a lot of things that I remember, is the toys. The tree was huge, and you could smell the cedar when you walked in the room, walked up into the sanctuary. And it was warm and lit up so beautiful. Everything was always just kind of awesome when you walked in. And I can remember my Aunt Weenie. She was always making mounds of gifts. She was constantly working, and no one went away without gifts. There was always things that were made, and she made scarves and mittens and hats and booties and dolls. And one of the main things that she would always make was those sock monkeys. I don't know if y'all had those on your tree, but we always had sock monkeys on our trees and rag dolls. But the tree was always huge. And then we'd have our speeches, and they would just be long speeches. The kids have to get up. Everybody in the whole church have to get up and say a speech. So that was always my terror. I was always afraid to get up in front of people. So maybe that's something that's gone on through a long time. But then the pledges would go for such a long time too. A little kid looks back and all you can remember is long words, and people were so proud and happy to be like Miss Harriger said. They were glad to see the tree. That meant they made it through another year. So they were always happy to see the tree, the Christmas tree. And that was a beautiful memory. And there was lots of tears of gratitude and thanksgiving through the whole evening services. And then would come Santa Claus after the sermon. And that we waited and waited, but all of a sudden when he came in, he had a weird looking face and a really loud voice, and I would be terrified. I just was so scared of Santa Claus, and I would hide. I said, "Oh, I hope he can't see me," because I was really scared. But I grew up and things changed a lot. So I didn't go away from the church, but we didn't live close. So that was mine. And I grew up in the 50s. I was born in the 50s, early 50s. And then everything, whenever, you grow up and you move away for a little while, but you come back. You always make your way back home, and that's home. So I love Redstone. I can't even imagine my life without it. So I appreciate you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brenda. Next, we'll have Martha Nell Pulov.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I saw some familiar faces logging in here. Really good to see you. Well, when they said to put this together, I had to kind of jot down some notes because that was a long time ago. And
No.
and I want to say that I kind of meet with the Norman group as an observer and just enjoy the Kiowa speaking and whatever they're covering for that week. It's always just good to hear people speak Iowa, But anyway, so my memories, and I do enjoy hearing things from like Miss Harriger and Miss DeLon, because they're talking about when the people used to camp, and that was kind of a little before my time, I think. So I never experienced that, although I have seen many pictures, read stories about it. And I always say I'm not really a winter person. I guess I'm not a summer person either, because either climates are wear on me. But when we were listening to one of the recordings, and the Kiowa people were talking about this back in the 70s, and that was their stories. And I remember Mr. Silverhorn talking, and he was saying that when it was time for them to put up their camps for Christmas, and keep in mind, this is winter, like it's cold outside now, that they would come in and the women would put everything together and be building a fire inside their camp to make it nice and warm for the family. And they were running into the church, doing things there too, and they were getting ready to cook food for the family. And they said, boy, these ladies were really Zale Bay. They were just all over, they just they didn't, just took it all in stride. They took care of it. And they said the men and the children just sat either in the car waiting for the camp to be set up, or later, they would be in the camp enjoying the coziness of it and the warmth of the food. And I just thought that was pretty amazing. I mean, I've always heard that women had those jobs to do, but when he talks about it, it was pretty neat. It was amazing. And that's our word for Saynday. I said it could mean something awful or terrible, or it could mean something very awesome. Okay, so I'll get back to my story. Is that I probably kind of remember things when I was about maybe 7, 8, or 9 years old is when I remember going to the Christmas services at Cedar Creek. We lived in the country, and I rode a school bus to school, so we didn't hardly get to town very much. But when we came into the church was kind of close to town, So you saw all your friends there. All those families came in. And the way my family did things was it started days before that, because your family's always putting things together and probably making gifts, cooking food, baking, whatever they're doing. It seemed like it was days and days that they were working at things. And then finally you got to that Christmas day, and we didn't have Christmas morning like most of the American families that you see. We always had to wait until we had our meal at noon. That was our big dinner there, was at noon. And then not only that, but when we finished our meal, a family, they had to clean up everything. You had to go in there and wash the dishes and put everything away and clean up everything. And then maybe mid-afternoon or late afternoon, you were over there by your tree, and you're exchanging gifts with your family at that time. So for a child to have to wait all that time, it's just a big buildup, and you're anxious and you're excited. But then you got your gifts, and you could go out and play if the weather was nice enough, so that was always fun. We knew that we would be going to that church in the evening. We went there during Sunday services. I don't remember going so much in the middle of the week, but I do remember the holiday time. And then I remember that I didn't think so much about this. When you're a kid, you're not thinking about it. But I do remember going into the church, and it always smelled like that cedar smell. And there'd be a huge tree sitting there. And of course, back in those days, they still made decorations for those trees. They'd have these long construction rings that they put up there and around the tree. And I don't remember so much about little electric lights on there. Maybe they had them, maybe they didn't. I can't remember. But anyway, they were very festive. Had those popcorn on there, strings of popcorn and stuff. And then when you got there, it was kind of like starting your regular church. So they had various things planned. And when you went, you're pretty fresh when you got in there. You were just waiting for it, looking at that tree. And sometimes they'd even have a doll hanging in its original box, and it wasn't wrapped, so you could see what it was. And it's like, wow, I wonder if that's my doll up there, But sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it could be. So that's the way we kind of went through our evening. And like you said, for a child that young, after a while, they're going to get sleepy, and they're going to be laying over their family members, leaning against them. They're going to sleep several times. But they know that somewhere in there, there's going to be a Santa Claus. There's going to be something good happen. But I do remember as a child that we always had to sit still and listen and try. Well, if we slept, we slept. But they say to try to listen to what they're saying. And that was some of the things I remembered. And some of you covered that, was that there were pledges for the coming year. And people even maybe paying some of those pledges at that time. So it could be numerous things that they were offering. And then people went into the testimonies. I think that's when I went to sleep, is when the testimonies came up. They were excited about what they were talking about, and I knew they had to do that. And as I grew older, I understood it more than I did then. Okay. And then it went on, and I guess you slept several times and woke up several times. But and this is just, I'm talking about me personally. Sometimes late at night it got really rowdy, and then we knew something good, big was happening, and then it was time for Santa Claus, and everyone was just in a party mood there, you know, and whoever was playing Santa Claus usually did a very good job of it. You know, when he came in, you know, he was ho 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 and speaking Kiowa and everything else, and of course we all understood what they were saying because we were around Kiowa all the time. Then it was like English to us, and too bad we grew up and had to go to school and work and kind of got away from it, you know. But hopefully we kind of still retain it. Okay. And then they had this gift given, and this was another thing I didn't understand when I was young, but as I grew up, I kind of understood what it was. If you were going to get something from that tree, chances are your family bought it for you and brought it in to be given to you from that church tree. So it wasn't like some magic Santa just came in there and bought everything with him. You know, you just, like I said, as you grow up, you learn different things. But when you're a kid, you don't know better, and you just enjoy every bit of it. And the best thing was those treat bags at the end. You always knew there was going to be those treat bags. And the thing about those is you could have those for the next week or two when you went home. They lasted for a long time because you had fruit, and you had candy, hard candy, which crunched our teeth, and all the little nuts in there you had to crack, you know, and it was just wonderful because that stretched for a long time. And that's kind of what I remember about being at the church on Christmas, part of my memories. And that's what all I can remember right now. So, Omaha.
Thank you, Martha. Next, we'll have Mr. Kevin Coneywardy speak about his Kiowa memories. He is also one of our advisors for the Kiowa language program.
I'm Kevin Coneywardy. Oboya is my Kiowa name. And when I was little, I had the same experience as everybody else, but lived in Mexico. And we would prepare to come back to Oklahoma to come to Mount Scott, Iowa, to be with my grandparents. And sometimes we would leave on Christmas Eve, and we would drive all night, and it would be my family, my mom and dad, and my brother and sister. And when we were driving to Oklahoma, we would look out the back window of the car, looking up in the sky, looking for Santa Claus and his reindeer. And we were little guys. I was maybe 3, 4 years old. So in today's standards, we were really unsafe because I would sleep in the window above the back seat, and my brother would sleep on the floor, and my sister would sleep on the seat. So no seat belt, and we head to Oklahoma, and we would wake up, and we would be at my grandmother's house on Christmas morning in Cache, Oklahoma. And of course, we would run to the tree and look for gifts and things like that. And I was always amazed that I would have a bike or something at my grandmother's tree in Cache, Oklahoma. And I always wondered, how did Santa Claus know that I was going to be at my grandmother's in Cache and have my bike there? And so it was kind of an amazing, they say, magical time. But you know, throughout the day, the family would gather at my grandmother's and eat, because meals are a big part of our doings as families. And so we would have a big lunch, and then start getting ready to go to Mount Scott Kiowa Church. And the services there would start about 6:30, 7 o'clock maybe. And like everybody said, you know, you go through the front door and you see the big Christmas tree, and that cedar aroma you would smell it as soon as you walked into the church. And being a little kid, you see my picture there, you know, I was always amazed at all the people that were in that church. And that church seemed so big at the time with everybody that was in there. And the tree was always too big for the church. It was always bent over at the top. You know? I don't know why. I always, as a little kid, I always wondered, why don't they get a tree that fits? You know? But the tree was always real big and the top was always bent over. But you know, like everybody said, you know, going throughout the evening, you hear the testimonies of the elders and the people and the pledges, and then the preacher would have his service and his message and things like that, and you would have Kiowa hymns, and like everybody mentioned, you know, as little kids, you know, we would get really sleepy and tired and kind of grouchy and wiggly and wondering when all this was going to be over so Santa would get there. And so usually about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock in the evening, you know, Santa would finally show up. And like everybody said, Santa was always Kiowa. He'd come in and speaking Kiowa and knowing everybody by their Kiowa names and everything. And it was really a neat experience growing up and being part of the Mount Scott Kiowa Christmas, you know, up until probably I got my own family. I attended some of the Christmas activities there, but my great grandfather was the founder of that church, Jimmy Quitone, and it was just a really neat experience, you know. And I've been to other churches, and they're not the same as Kiowa churches. And it just, you know, it's not Christmas. So, you know, you have those memories and those feelings, those people that are not around anymore, and you experience all that history and the magic and all the Christmas things. You mentioned the treat sacks. You know, that was always a big thing. And once you got your treat sack, man, you hung on to it because you didn't want to leave it or somebody to take it. Or, you know, when you got home, you wrote your name on it. So, but you know, after all that was over, you know, we'd go back to New Mexico and we'd have all of our bikes on top of the car and we'd be heading back. So it was a good time growing up. But as I got older, I moved back to Oklahoma, you know, and had my own family. So, you know, I try to share these memories with them and try to make them realize, you know, just how it was, you know, growing up around all these Kiowa people. So I hope.
Thank you, Kevin. Next, I'm going to read a poem by Harlan Hall. He grew up at Saddle Mountain, and when he wrote this poem, he lived in California at the time. And this poem was printed in the Lawton Constitution, probably around the year 2000. We cannot find the date, but this is the poem by Harlan Hall. It's called Kiowa Christmas at Saddle Mountain. Songs of Kiowa elders are in the wind. In a rich history we yet live and savor. A spirit that runs far past low hills nearby and into the beyond of stars forever. Few Kiowa homes are there today. In the valley of that long ago, wild grasses have browned from the cold and patched the valley floor below. Bass voices of Kiowa men of that day resound and echo through the valley and into the sky, blended by soprano voices of Kiowa women. We hear them this Christmas Day, old songs going by. There are no tents there this day, no fires, no billowing smoke in the air. There are no tied or hobbled horses, no wagons, only old tracks cut in the ground winter bare. There are no beeves to butcher or large cooking fires to tend and feed. No smoke aromas of sweet meats. Chopping a wood is no need. No one is there to cut a tall cedar as our Christmas tree. No one to tie paper bell or to thread pretty string for all to see. Saddle Mountain Kiowa Christmas has slowly faded into time, but its memories will stay with many forever. There was never a richer Christmas with truer feelings of giving. No, never. In the low hills, I will listen again to rolling thunder and watch lightning streaks of orange light. I will watch the small snowflakes cover the earth in the coming night. Through Kiowa feeling passed to me, I can see an old-time Kiowa Christmas tree. The strength and beauty of a fine people. I can remember the old Kiowa people's way. Tonight, I will touch cedar again and look at fire embers for very long. I will see a memorable time, a closeness to them, moment of deep song. I will hold Kiowa Christmas today, closer and closer to those all about me. I will recall for them the joy of Kiowa forebears at Christmas, a former time, yes, but of great beauty. Harlan Hall. Okay, next. Are we going to have songs next?
Oh, it's time for songs. Aho, everyone. Thank you, Carolyn, for facilitating that part. And now we're going to go into our singing portion of our program. And so here's where it gets kind of tricky because we're going to have to get kind of tricky with the technology. So we're going to have everyone kind of mute and unmute because, you know, with this technology with Zoom, it doesn't let everyone sing together. So we're going to have, we've identified a song leader for each one of these songs that we want to share with everyone. And so what's going to happen is when we go to the song, we're going to mute everyone. Okay, I'll mute everyone. And then when we're done with the song, I'll go ahead and ask you everyone to unmute yourself, okay, to come back onto the, to be able to hear each other. But we're gonna mute, I'm gonna mute everyone while the song is being sung. So we're just kind of gonna go down that list like that. And we do have the song lyrics and the translations up here. And we're gonna be sharing this presentation with any, you know, those who are here on this call. So that way you'll have it for future reference. So with that, let's see here. Make sure we got everyone. Yep, I think we got everyone. Cool. All right, so let's see here. I want to make sure that we can see everyone. Can everyone see the screen okay? Pull up the.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, since I'm up first, I'm gonna mute everyone really quick and then share this song. And I just got a message. Cricket, can you text, do you have Annette's number?
Have you?
Nanette, Grandma Dorothy's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Can you text Nanette the meeting ID and passcode? I guess Grandma Dorothy got kicked out. So
Okay.
she's trying to log in. All right, aho.
Okay.
Nanette wanted that. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and sing this first song. And I'm very excited about this song because this is the Kiowa Christmas story song. This is composed by Grandma Dee, by Miss Harrogera, by her father, Louis Toibo. And there's a picture of him on the screen. And this is the song lyrics that are in the Christmas booklet that Grandma Dee shared earlier. So with that, we'll go ahead and make sure that everyone can hear okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mute everyone, and then when I'm done singing, then we'll come back together. So, all right, Ako. Okay, so hopefully everyone can still hear me. All right, Ako. Apa hey ka gidame kya yop ki kya kabo yop etadore hey ga kore de pan bakaba zotaki an sanbo halo kya bon am de hail na do ne boy be toy gunta tante agya babado dakya iam pedo kipotan apa hey kya dame kya yop ki kya kabo yop etado de hey ga kore de pan bakaba zotak ian sanbo halo ya bon am de hail na do ne boy be toy gunta tante agya babado dakya iam pedo kibotan apa hey kya kidame kya yop ki kya kabo yop etado de hey ga kore de ban bakaba zotak ian sanbo halo yabo am de hail na do ne boy be toy gunta tante agya babado dakya iam pedo kibotan apa hey ka kidame kya yop ki kya kabo yop etado de hey ga kore de pan bakaba zotaki an sanbo halo ya bon am de hail na do ne boy be toy gunta tante agya babado dakya iam pedo kipotan obaha. Let me unmute everyone.
Soha.
Oh,
Good job,
good one.
buddy.
All right. So
job.
that is the Kiowa Christmas story. And let's see here. And next I'm going to turn it over to Miss Pat, and she's going to share a Kiowa Holiness song.
Do I unmute everybody or do you?
I'll go ahead and mute everyone now, Miss Pat, and you might have to make sure you unmute yourself.
Okay, but I leave mine mute.
You might have to click mute again, like to unmute yourself when I hit everyone. Okay, ready? Just be ready to press it.
No, I mean the lady that's gonna sing it.
Okay. Let's see, Miss Pat, you might need to.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Ha.
Okay. Okay. Are the lyrics up there? Can we get the lyrics up there?
Let me pull them up. Let's see. Oh, I pulled up the wrong thing, so I'll pull it up for you. Where is it? Okay. Let me share my screen again. Okay.
Okay.
Be able to see them.
Okay. This song right here, it was where I first heard it was during a holding this meeting, and the Reverend Cecil Horse was is the one that there was someone singing it in English, and when we got through singing it in English, he went on ahead and sung it in Kiowa the way he thinks it should be sung. And it's a simple little song in Kiowa, and so I think that's the way we should teach our children. Start them off with little simple songs and let them understand what they're singing about and tell them what they're singing about. And I'll sing the English part, and then I'll switch over to the Kiowa version. He wore a purple robe. He wore a purple robe. He wore a purple robe for me. One day when I was lost, he died upon the cross. He died upon the cross for me. Aim on, keep okie. Aim on, keep okie. Aim on, keep okie. Dark eye. Aim on, keep okie. Aima kipoki, aima kipoki, dokai, aima kipoki, aima kipoki, aima kipoki, dokai, aima kipoki, aima kipoki, aima kipoki, dokai, aima kipoki. Aim a kipoki, aim a kipoki, dokyai. Aim a kipoki, aim a kipoki, aim a kipoki, dokyai. I hope.
Great.
This song right here is composed by Harry Dumbo, and he taught us this when I was going to church at a little church in Stecker, and Harry started coming to our church, and he heard this joy to the world, and so he did it in what he thought he heard in Kiowa, and it goes like this. Dokyai no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan, ampedo atsan hail, ampedo atsan hail, no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan. Dokyai no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan, ampedo atsan hail, ampedo atsan hail, no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan. Dokyai no pedo kipotsan, no pedo kipotsan, ampedo atsan hail, Ampedo at son hail, no pedo keep son, no pedo keep son, no pedo keep son. Aho.
Pretty.
Aho, aho, Miss Pat. Let's see here. The next song that we have is going to be, I'm going to turn it over to Cricket.
Okay. So it's this one, as you can read up here, was the words were put together by Ama Bintri Ahok, and she was the daughter of Ombo. So anyway, and that's her picture right there. And
Are you back? I'm in class right now.
so do you want to mute everyone again, Melody, or and then I'll unmute myself?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And anyway, so I'll just sing this song. And to me, you know, once I sing it one time through, I think that, you know, it's kind of an easy, really catchy version of it that she put together. And I think that everybody can join in and sing along, and you'll only hear yourself, but it's good. So anyway, here we go. Ma on de ba doin de dom tai Gyai gom baton san hero de pe ya dong ya bagi ma horo Gama on de batoin ma on de batoin ma on de da tan san hero Ma on de ba doin de dong tai Gai gom ba tan san heo De pe ya dong ya bagi ma horo Gama on de batoin ma on de batoin ma on de da tan san hero Ma on de ba doin de dom tai Gai gom ba tan san heo De pe ya dong ya bagi ma horo Gama on de batoin ma on de batoin ma on de da tan san heo Ma on de ba doin de dom tai Gai gom ba tan san heo De pe ya dong ya bagi ma horo Gama on de batoin ma on de batoin ma on de da tan san heo. All right, that's all. Y'all learn that.
Aho, thank you so much, Cricket. Awesome. Let's see. So everyone can unmute if they want to. The next song that we have, we wanted to share with everyone the first Kiowa Christian hymn, which Grandma Dee talked about this when she was sharing her part, composed by Godibo. And you can see the lyrics right here, and there's a picture of him. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Jacob Zotai for this part.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Post. I was asked by Cricket to lead this song, but that I didn't know that my Segi Warren was going to be on. So I've asked him if he would lead this hymn since he is from Rainy Mountain. And so he's agreed to do that. So if you will turn on his video and his voice, and Warren has such a beautiful voice, I hope that he's able to. Come on.
Okay. Thank you, Segi. So y'all sing along with me. I guess you're going to mute everybody, Melanie.
Yeah, so Warren, I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone right now. So you'll have to probably unmute yourself really quick. So.
Okay. I got something.
Okay, Warren. Okay.
Okay. On the dog keep on safe. On the dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Take a combo keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Fake ya don't ya keep on safe. On the dog keep on safe. On the dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Take a combo keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Fake ya don't ya keep on safe. On the dog keep on safe. On the dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday dog keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Take a combo keep on safe. Jesus Sunday hondo safe. Fake ya don't ya keep on safe.
Aho. They own.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh. Hey.
Saynday Claus. Saynday Claus, I call it, huh?
Good one.
Ho,
ho,
ho.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Santa's
singing in Kiowa.
Kokida, but yeah.
Or I'm gonna make your picture big so we can see you. So you're not a little. Let me see.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, speak Kiowa. Speak Kiowa.
Yo,
Warren.
Kokida, but yeah. But yeah.
Warren,
Aho.
Warren, this is Aunt Mabel. Grandma Peggy's looking at you. She said, Merry Christmas. She's been watching the whole program and she's really enjoying it. She can hear it.
Good.
Well, though.
Good.
Oh, get tired.
That's why I said I'm gonna wait till after I sing before I get all Saynday Claus on y'all.
We gotta have a Saynday Claus. That's awesome, Warren.
Yeah, that was.
All right, awesome. Appreciate that. Good plan, Mr. Zotai. Thank you so much.
That was a good one on me too.
Talk. She don't have herself. Unmute yourself.
Whoops. Who is it?
I mean, Dane.
I think it's Dane.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So for the next part, I'm going to turn it over to Dane, and I'm going to make Dane the host, if I can find your name. All right.
All right, cool. Ain pula no da goi dong yamatim ki a goi con. Ain had again. Ain had again. Bahin delta. Gom da de hente kikida. Henko Hente Gegedo. So I'm gonna read you a story, and this comes from the Indians for Indians Hour from December 24th, 1946, as told by Win Gumda himself. And this is also available. You can listen to the whole program. It's about 45 minutes long, and it's available from repository.ou.edu. It has all the old Indians for Indians Hour recordings. And about 2 years ago, I believe it's about 2 years ago, Miss Harrogera, Carolyn Cricket were working on this, and then I kind of jumped in the end, and we kind of stayed up a little bit late, fixing all the transcriptions and writing on this. So it took about 4 of us to.
And Mabel got Grandma Peggy on there. Grandma Peggy was like, Peggy.
And then so we got when it comes to these old translations, sometimes it's a little bit harder to do them. So it takes a little bit of listening and a little that's why it took 4 of us to kind of get this all together. So everybody kind of played their part getting this transcription together. But I'm glad that we're able to get to use it this year, and I think it was used last year as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read off of it. It's the Christmas story, again, real similar to the first song that Melody sung earlier, but it's just a story form. So, cool. Ain't hard to key. Dom ge ging ge dom can yo gobble yo 8 do day. He go hold day on 8 old sorrow day san hail. Dates so get bomb day hail. Can yo gobble yo 8 do day. Going toy goon hail. I'm on 8 old sorrow day don't. Boy, bait soy goon da hate by bone. Don't get the back on. Ain't hard to key. I'm pedo if all gets on. Oh, go. Do get Bethlehem, get all day. Keep on keep. Jesus saw dog aido. Solo day anton pat de. No code de. Amongst solo go. De mon godo king. At san hero. Goim do ye. He go ha oba Vegas solo. De oba a ho de egi on hero. Dog isoel. De dom tai do ba get on de hero. De on de hat de honk ego aga im on zone to. Total sogo im hain de hero. Pan might so he go a heel hero. And yo gobble yo mate do de. Gigotone. Hate ba go back bon. Ain't go get get de. All go dog get high de. He go hold de get I hater. Go married de. Go Joseph de 8 ton hater. If all get pant up de pante. Saying go pino koi get son get saw de ain't. If all get so de. He go ain't hard de get bon hater. Got they ain't tail hater. If all get a ton thick on me. Overhog your hand they do. Alright, cool. I think I saw a message on here. I'm not sure what it was. Let me go see what it was.
Okay, Dane. Aho, Dane.
Okay.
That was just me putting the link in the chat.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, cool. And so just kind of quickly going over this, I kind of put it in a more kind of a literal translation. So that's why it's like that. But I think we can kind of make this available to everybody. I think whenever she sends these out links, you can go ahead and get a copy of this. I'll send an updated one I just did right before this. But you can kind of look at what the story is. And then you can also listen to it from the Indians for Indians Hour on repository.ou.edu. And where he's actually, where Wingumda is actually telling the story. Cool. And then the next part, since we're trying to make time for questions is a request from another story, but this one's going to be online. So I'm going to stop my share, make sure that my audio is being shared. And if I do this one, it's a story by Parker, the late Parker McKenzie. And let me see if I can share the sound. And there is a transcription from it made by his great-grandson, Andrew McKenzie, and Dr. Andrew McKenzie, and I'm going to go ahead and put that up as well. And these are actually available on Facebook. If you're part of the Kiowa Stories Facebook group, you can actually download them from there. And then the video is from Dr. Daniel Harbour, which you can actually look for online. So you just type down on YouTube, Kiowa Christmas story. And I'm going to go ahead and play that. And then afterwards, if anybody wants to chime in after we play it, then I think that's what we plan to do is anyone who can understand it, go ahead and chime in as we talked about before. So you can describe what's going on and what's and how that story is, because it gets to some humorous parts in there as well. So let me go ahead and let me see if I. Okay, here we go.
Now here's a story that Lynn Pardy once told me. I am Parker McKenzie. It's a story about Christ's birth. It happened during a Christmas encampment at the Cedar Creek Church, which is southeast of Carnegie. Now, here's a story as he told it to me in Kiowa. Cụ som hòn tê có tê ho cả có. O có đọc ai o cả chan tê cụ cả đô cái có cả o mà có cả kia có tê tê. Bà soma nó bà po to cụ to có đọc ai o cả chan tê pê cụ cả đô đây. Sa to al bà. Này có tê hay bà cái kem so cái này có. Họ có cụ thon tê có tê đủ cả tê xe cái có tê cái mà cái có em mò cái có bát to hết ton cỏ bát po mò to cụ có son tê bó thon tê được to ấy có đọc ấy đó tê to lên đó mà gắt sọ tê hả vậy tốt tê hồ ở coi mấy tê khó này hả cái cha này là tê bố tê khó này là tê cái này thông là này có soi ba cái cô cái cha này nó sai tổ sai tê này có hay bề hay hỏi có ý bỏ cái cha này đọc cái cái cô tôi khó lên con tay phá có bỏ tay hay đó mà này có el song hi Joanna Conde soma cô pa gomba hi mà i cô tenan tông gian mà để đó cô gùi so an tông có tông cái no. So they will take on dohi kya kone. So tone kiko ya don't pao kya. That's the story that Lynn told me.
Okay, cool. I got a text that said that they couldn't see the transcription.
I saw it.
I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw your screen.
I saw it.
Okay. Okay. Obaha, so my part is done. So I don't know if anybody wanted to talk about that or talk about what that story was about, because it did kind of go into several parts. But I know we talked about it in the room earlier. And then as a host, I did let Grandma Dorothy in. Is she in here?
I think she just left. I just saw her. She just left.
Okay. Let me go ahead and. Turn this back over. Oops. It made Warren host. I clicked on you, but it switched to him. So Warren, you might have to make Melody host again.
Okay, it's on.
Warren's got to make Melody.
All right.
Warren's changing into Superman now.
Okay, Melody, you should be the host now. Melanie, you're the host now.
And you're also on mute.
Carolyn, do you have the agenda?
No, I do not. Melody has it.
Okay. Grandma Dorothy called me. I'm going to put her on speakerphone. Okay. Grandma Dorothy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You should be able to hear them when they're talking. All right. Let me pull up the screen again. So I think we wanted to share one more thing of like kind of to share a more modern Christmas memory as well. So let me click over here. Okay, so I'm gonna play this really quick. This is just a quick little video of Miss Pat singing and she has the students from the Anadarko Public Schools Indian Education Dance Troupe. And this was last year at the Kiowa Black Leggings Warrior Society Christmas dinner. So we're gonna play this really quick.
Dokyai no pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan. I'm pedo watsan hail, I'm pedo watsan hail. No pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan. Dokyai no pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan. I'm pedo watsan hail, I'm pedo watsan hail. No pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan, no pedo kiponsan.
All right. So we just wanted to share that. And at this point, before we go into our closing, we wanted to just open it up and see if anyone had any questions for any of our elders, or if anyone has any Christmas memories of their own that they'd like to share with everyone. So we wanted to just open it up to everyone, and anyone who wanted to speak or share something, you can unmute yourself, or you can share it in the chat box. So I'll go ahead and open it up to everyone.
Dr. Post?
Hyundai.
Just one quick memory. It was torture at Indian churches to have to wait all day Christmas Day to get your gifts. When your Thakoi friends were getting theirs Christmas morning, we had to wait the whole day into the night until after all the pledges were made and all the testimonies were given. We finally, right before midnight, we would get our gifts. And that's when we were thankful and relieved to finally celebrate Christmas.
Oh.
Melody, my name is Barbara Welk, and I live near Austin, Texas. And I think I'm related to a lot of you. My mother was Ruth Johnson. Her mother was Mayrell Johnson. And I remember she used to tell me that they'd go in the Christmas church with the tree, and there would be ties and cloth and all pretty things on it for gifts and the candy. And she also told me that her sister one time got a Banty hen for a gift. I'm glad to know you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Sandra from Dallas. I was wanting to share a memory about Cedar Creek. I think I was about 5 years old, and my grandma Nellie Saidpahoodle lived just a little short distance from there. And we went there to spend the night with her. But before, of course, that we went to the church at Cedar Creek. And man, that was the biggest tree I'd ever seen. And it was covered in socks and handkerchiefs. I'd never seen that before and since. And I remember all the gifts, and I remember getting a Big Chief tablet because I got in the first grade that year. Do you all remember the Big Chief tablets?
Ah.
And then the next day when we had dinner, when we sat down to dinner, there was a paper bag under our plates, and there was an apple and an orange and a banana. You don't see that no more. Thought I'd share that. It's one of my favorite memories.
Good.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
This is Dennis Zotai from Washington, D.C., and I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. This pandemic has been extremely hard on the Kiowa people this year, and I know that many people, we won't be seeing them until we join them in the next world. And this has been going on all over Indian country. We all share the same story. And so in the coming year, there are a lot of politics that are going on with our tribe, but we need to be good to each other. We need to continue to take care of our elders. And a lot of us were not spending Christmas with families like we all were. I heard earlier that, you know, all these good memories, but this year we have to take it easy. Everybody has to do it. It ensures that our elders can still be with us. And it's so good to see so many elders. And I just wanted to say Merry Christmas from Washington, D.C., from my father, Ralph, and myself.
Oh.
Oh.
It's good to see you as well, Mr. Zotai and Mr. Zotai. Thank you so much for joining us. Really glad you could get online tonight.
Oh.
Oh.
Melody, this is Mabel Kozad, and I just wanted to tell you, Mother enjoyed the program, and I enjoyed it too. It was very interesting. I'm glad we got invited, and I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, and from Mother too. And we're going to leave now because it's her bedtime, but she heard all the stories and she want to know what church they were from. And so it was very interesting for both of us. So I thank you for letting us listen in.
So glad that both of you could join. Merry Christmas.
And could you make sure we get a recording of this?
What was that?
Dr. Post, make sure we get a recording of this so we can share.
Yes, I'm actually going to, it'll be posted on YouTube. So I'll be sending out the link as well as the resources that were, that all the song lyrics and everything. We'll be sharing that with everyone as well.
Oh,
Do we
Melody.
need to send you our email?
Yes.
Melody, this is Mabel again. Before I go off, I wanted to mention to you that the Carnegie area, Tony, you did a wonderful job with that song because that song is extremely hard, and you did a good job, Melody. And Tony had set up, I don't know if you all have seen it or not, but she set up a little presentation and Freddie singing it, and she's got the translations on it with pictures and all, and it's really nice. I don't exactly know how to get on it, but I'm sure if you get on the Freddie, do you know? It's on the Facebook page, and it's the song that Grandpa Louis made, and she's got the translation with "And Silent Night."
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
Awesome.
so anyway, I was wondering, no one sang "Silent Night" tonight either. That was the one song that wasn't sung tonight too. I don't know if I don't know. Freddie, do you know "Silent Night"? No. Okay, Freddie doesn't know it, so I was just wondering about that too. But it's just been a very.
There's Libby. No, it's not. No.
But it's been a very enjoyable evening.
Well, I'm so glad to join. I'll be sure to, I can look for those links that you mentioned on the Facebook page and see if I can include it in the email to everyone. So hopefully that'll help. So, because I do know that we do have a couple versions of Silent Night. So that's a good point. So if anyone wants to sing Silent Night before we go, feel free.
I just want to say thank you too very much. I'm Sherilyn Claus. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and my mom listened to the whole thing. She's Elfrida Soodle Claus, and so she just enjoyed it. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Is there anyone else who'd like to share anything, any memories, or do you have any questions for any of our elders?
I have a question. I was
So somebody earlier asked about when we're
Cricket, it's hard to hear you, but I think Sandra had a question really quick.
okay. So when we're gonna have another one, and
You're breaking in and out, Cricket. Could you type it in the chat box, maybe?
Can you hear me now?
Honey. Uh-oh. Can everyone hear me? Did I lose?
Yes, Mom can.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Sorry, Cricket, if you could type it in the chat box. I don't know. It's technology is not our friend tonight. Not my friend anyway. And Sandra, I think you had a question.
Well, I had asked about the Kiowa Bible because I saw a photo on Facebook where, I can't remember who it was. It was 3 men who were helping translate the Bible into Kiowa. So I wondered if it was ever published or what happened to it.
Good question. Has anyone heard about that project, or does anyone have any info on the Kiowa Bible translation? Hanya Haiga, for me anyway. Good question. Maybe we can ask around and see what we can find out. I wanted to, before we get to our closing prayer.
Unmute me. Now, may I say something, please? I've been trying to get on for a long time. You did not emphasize Ode Bohon was his name. And we said Godibo. This is Kiowa, Ode Bohon. And Gomda, Wind Gumda, it's Gomda, windy, wind. So actually its name is Wind. But the town of Godibo is their pronunciation of Ode Bohon, Godibo. Ode Bohon.
Ode Bohon.
Yes. And as you go along, you guys didn't pronounce the words in Kiowa. That's what we're here for.
Oh,
That's the only critique I have. I was silent all through this because I got knocked off. Maybe for a reason, but I did. And I want to wish you, I wanted to talk to the Zotais too. And iho de hanbet kom makon te ada. But I had to be silent all through it, and I guess I don't know. But good night, and God bless all of you, and have a good Christmas. You'll have my prayers. I'm frustrated because I missed half of it. I didn't have any kind of, even my Kiowa computer went out. And it's only the third time I used it. I had to get my old one out.
yikes.
So
Technology.
So it was good. I'm proud of y'all. You've done a good show. And I'm glad for everybody. Jacob, thank you for the good words, son. I appreciate it.
Oh,
And I failed to say that when I talked about the people born there, the descendants are the Kiowa, and that's Cricket's family. Kiowa was their name. Saved them. And the story I told about Mary and Joseph was Mary Kibon and Joe Pulo. Those were the descendants. They used to camp all the time all over. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get to have such an input.
Oh. All right. Is there anyone else who'd like to share anything or ask any questions?
I think Cricket wanted the message to be heard that the next outreach will probably be in January or February. We haven't decided yet.
Same day and same time.
Survey. Oh, in the survey. Cricket.
Oh.
Oh man, we forgot to do that.
I put the survey in the chat box, so I'm gonna put it in there right now again. So if you click on the chat box before you leave, there's a little link. And if you click on that link, it says, we appreciate your feedback. Let us know how we did, and also let us know if you have ideas for other topics you'd like to hear. So click on that. It takes about 5 minutes, and we really appreciate it. So while you're, go ahead, Cricket.
No, go ahead. You were gonna do it.
So while you're clicking on that, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess if there's no other questions, we can go ahead and go into our closing prayer. I'll see really quick if anyone has any questions. All right. I'm not hearing any, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over to Grandma D, Miss Dolores Toibo Harrigera, and we'll go ahead and have our closing prayer.
Okay, before I pray, I would like to thank everyone for their part, those from the class, the two candidates who participated, and everyone, as a matter of fact, and those who shared their memories from way out of Kiowa country. So I appreciate all of you. And this year, I guess all of the churches will not be having a Kiowa Christmas. And by the way, this is really a Kiowa Christmas. We've been here a long time, just like we do if we were in a regular Christmas. But next year, the Lord willing, Christmas will be observed again the way that we have for years. And so if you've never been to a Kiowa Christmas, I invite you to come to Rainy Mountain on Christmas night about 6 o'clock. And if you can't come there, then there are other churches that were listed. There's Redstone, and there's one at Hobart, and the other churches, the Kiowa Churches. Just make it a point, write it down, and you're welcome. You're very welcome to bring your children so they'll be able to see what we're talking about and the way that our elders carried on. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, and once again, have a Merry Christmas, and come to our services next year. Big dog tie. Dog upon mine, dog. Audit dog and saw me gun dog gedana. Saw me day. Ek ate. I'm audit gedana. I'm pedo. Get those on go. They honde order. Eight dog doggy. I'm Tom. Get the dog get the on. Eight the honde get all doggy. So con go talk you. Get on pedo go get on son on man. Yeah, they can't they. Bo go. Eight on. I'm on get Tom and get tog get on and get a dog get dog it all hot. I'm calling get target dog get ball the dog I con dog go at so go I'm go dog that dog sat the dog in the key. I'm Tom get eight all good. They own the Ten dog is thought the Kiago. God don't get more ham or get more all the dog in it. I'm Tom bed. I'm on to get the told dog. I on the dog in it. How but get goat dog or Tom dog up in the hot. Yet God don't hide it dog. I thought dog. And don't dog. God don't care. Hon hagi get hang out the oil they go Tom dog. They only a call on feed up a dog got so go. Dog it dog I'm out go can't I'm dog satan and they only a hold one. They dog I'm dog satan dog satan give but all my dog held the key. Call get target all day. Mom bright half up dog, eight dog get those on my dog on key solo. Get high get all day. A whole day but her they on the hit get taint of dog on both dog. I'm Tom by the hit a echo dog both dog on the yep all they come dog in a toying dog go the dog dog I'm Tom dog boat no I'm big the ye the dog I'm pedo a hold it go key they got the good dog eat I'm toying dog. On the cookies elbede tie dog in a diom agiki and dog in a de old he go but Tom and get on dog ego dog they up all my dog either how they he go I'm paid a good dog in yeah they pa. He go hang it up before hang the dog in I'm keep come get the dates a log it and don't give it. But Tom the dog boy I get that's so eight bait the dog I'm Tom paid the target dog they bag it over the ye that they had a dog yeah oi be dog I the sa da dog a good go morgen oi be dog I hon they hon the good all it so good dog they say they town better go over dog I they all the toying dog I say it oil they eight bed by the dog all time they all the yeah dog side things on the other dog in the paid when they get on my dog the bone go the on to town go get town no hey oh boy don't dog so I go dog hey oh boy don't dog so to go dog on the heart keep on dog the oil they on the oil them on the oil the bed I don't they get town no they built by the dog own town I can't bear the dog amen
Amen.
Amen.
Aho.
Oh.
Hey, go and all at phone, Ty.
Oh.
Oh. Hey, go Bonta.
Hey, Melody, I just want to make sure that everybody fills out that survey because they're going to need that data whenever they do turn in the stuff for the grant. So if everybody can leave it up for a little bit and everybody can talk or get off if you've already done it.
Hey, go I'm all at Bonta. Zoom dog. Hey.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
No.
Merry Christmas.
Saynday Claus.
Day on day babon.
We'll see y'all.
Dennis and Ralph, day on day babon.
Oh.
Day on day babon.
Oh. I'll leave the room open for a little.
Many did we have on?
Hyundai?
How many did we have on?
We had 31 people at one time.
Oh.
Not too bad. I'll go ahead and I'll put the link. I'll get the link uploaded and prepare the follow-up email. So for anyone that left their email, as well as everyone who I can see who we have their email, I'll go ahead and email the follow-up here in the next few days. So that way, if you want to practice and sing some of these Christmas songs with your own families and for your holiday activities, you'll have the recording. So enjoy and appreciate all of your time, and we hope to see you at our next outreach. Dak I batai dode.
Aho, everyone, for sharing all those stories. They were really good.
Oh. Hopefully we can get the recording link, the video posted on the Kiowa Tribe website, and we can post it on the language program Facebook page as well. So be on the lookout for that. We'll try to share it with everyone who was here.
Did they put the thing on the Facebook page, our link?
Hanya, hi, guy. I didn't have a chance to look today, but I sent it yesterday, so I sent a reminder.
Because I asked him this morning to post it. Anyway, Kenny, did you see it up there? Are you still on? I don't think you.
Kenny's muted.
I didn't see it. No, I wasn't.
You didn't.
I wasn't on there yesterday.
How come I stayed muted all the way through?
Hi,
I just
Grandma.
found the mute button.
Because I tried to unmute you, Grandma, but I don't know what, it wouldn't let me unmute you.
Got pretty upset. I was muted.
I know, I don't know.
It's funny.
press that button. It's what we practiced yesterday where everyone has to try to unmute themselves. That's what happened. I know there's other people that stayed muted too.
There's like more than so many that get muted. I think it.
Yeah.
Whenever we were singing, I think that's when the problem happened. Whenever we were singing, we had to mute everybody except for that one singer. And then,
I was under the impression it was part of my class. I thought it was broken. It was muted.
Oh no. Well, hopefully we'll figure it out so that next time you don't have that problem. Hopefully we can take a look at it, troubleshoot.
Why doesn't the tribe get it?
They need to.
Yes, they need to, so you can quit being responsible for it.
I'm not an IT person, so I just do my best.
I know it, but still you're liable for all of this, and the tribe can do it.
Yeah.
I'm just letting the others know.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I'm thankful that we have Melody to do these. She's been the only reason we've been able to do outreaches.
But we were on
Yes,
Rachel's
otherwise-
for a long time.
For you guys, for the Thursday class, right? And then,
They're trying.
but yeah, the Kiowa tribe has put it in for our program. I don't know why.
I know, but it's frustrating.
Oh,
yeah. It is technology. It's not fun when it's nice when it works. When it doesn't work, it's not fun.
and I guess my Wi-Fi isn't
Yeah.
good, but I have
I mean,
Uverse.
when y'all's done.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm ready.
You know what, Cricket? I think it might have been that we had a lot of people on the Zoom.
Yeah.
And I think that was causing everyone's computers to like use a lot of processing. Because mine started freezing up at some points and it was just, yeah. I think it's a bandwidth issue. But thank you everyone for joining. It's good to see everyone. Let's see, the link is in the chat box, so hopefully everyone had a chance to fill it out. And Cricket, when I send the follow-up email, I'll try to send it tomorrow. I can include the survey link in there too for people.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because I'll have the video link too.
Oh, and hey, maybe we could add that Silent Night song that's on YouTube. Kevin will forward it to you.
Is that one that's on Facebook, the one that Mabel was talking about?
I think
Yes.
so. We can forward it to you if you don't have it. And
You want me to play it? Let's see. Is it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I should have thought of that. Let me look.
We can play it while people are filling out the survey.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, that's cool. Good idea.
Whoever can Google it first.
Oh, hold on. I'll see.
Is it on the Kiowa Tribe website? I tried looking at YouTube, but I couldn't find it. So now I'm looking on the Kiowa Tribe website.
And Melody, I think Dane was trying to get it back in. He said something like he's waiting to get back in.
Oh, whoops. See, I don't. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's on the KLCRP Facebook site, Melody.
Okay. Dane, sorry about that. Hopefully you're back on. Sorry, I didn't see your message there. Dane, we're looking for the Silent Night. We're looking for the Silent Night in Kiowa. And Cricket said there's one on the KLCRP Facebook page. So we were going to see if we could play it for everyone. Well, everyone is still here.
Whose version is it?
It's 2 days ago.
The songs never go with the tune or the English words.
Oh,
It's gonna be original. It should follow with the words. I never did care for those. Now go ahead and smile at each other. I have my own ideas.
I was trying to, I'm looking for it to see if I could
And
find
we're
it.
learning Kiowa, and the object is for Kiowa, and we're putting English words with the tune of a Tokoi song.
Oh,
That's why what is it? Oh, they bone home is a good one because it's his own.
The original songs are really Kiowa songs, like the Bethlehem one and all of them.
yeah.
It's just my talking, but it's my method. We're all free to have different ideas.
I have a copy of, do you have the copy, Melody, from the Alicia Gonzalez's class, Silent Night?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me exit out of this. It's in that little packet that we were looking at. Let's see. Right here. Is this the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the one that Cricket or who was it said it's on Facebook?
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't know if it's that version, but it probably
do
is.
Facebook.
It's following the words. I learned that from her. We don't ever use her.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember.
All the time.
Can
Grandma Dorothy, a few years ago, I remember we were practicing. We were trying to sing this song in one of our sessions a while back.
Yeah, but the words are like the song. I mean, it coincides. The others don't.
Oh.
I thought y'all all know that. You talk Kiowa.
Does anybody know this version?
Let's see. Well, let me see. I'm going to ask if anyone who's still on here knows this one first before I try it.
I don't know this one. Only ones I know is Harry's songs, Harry Dumbo's, and evidently those aren't the right songs.
Okay.
These follow the English words the way they are. None of the others do, not one of them.
Let's see.
Jesus was born. And it's just like that Toybo song. It's just almost like that, Silent Night. The night he was born, but it's following every word, English word.
Oh. I can try to remember the.
We couldn't even say Merry Christmas tonight because there's no word for Merry.
Oh.
Do y'all get my point at all?
Oh.
Whoa.
This is supposed to be a teaching session also with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Gabali, the shepherds, that it tells that Jesus was born. Da Bon Halen. We missed seeing that star tonight, didn't we? But
yeah.
There's no purpose if we sing these songs without the original words. If you're taking Kiowa. It says salvation, and it just follows it word for word.
I don't know if that's the right tune, but I tried it.
You gained on me. It was nighttime.
Silent night, holy night, all is bright, whatever the song is, that's the English.
You gained on me. It was night. You dog on me. It was a holy night. Doki, Jesus, dog Sanhel. Jesus was born. Gobbledy, the ones that the shepherds. They seen a star. It follows the words. That's the one that I thought, yeah, just a minute.
Dark Hail. Do you want me to sing it again?
Many, many, many people. Gagined on me, and she didn't say silent night. She said it was night. There's no word for silent, and that would go with that. But she put it the way it is. Alicia did. And I was listening to all these songs, and they do not follow the tune that, like, Joy to the World is, yeah. How would you say joy to the whole world? And somebody asked for Silent Night, and it made me look for it because they were right.
Yeah.
Well, Silent Night. Silent.
And Holy Night, all is quiet, all is right. But this is a version, but the Kiowa and English is identical.
Hmm.
But there's not, is there a song that's like that English song? It was not, it was a holy night. Jesus was born, the shepherd saw the star, the angels sang their song.
All is quiet, it's what I'm getting at. You can't follow these English songs with the proper words in Kiowa.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't like Amazing Grace. Let's take that song. There's nothing in that song that follows Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. There's nothing like that in the car. The way we just use a tune, or somebody puts a car word in there, but it does not follow Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
So if
in the future, after I'm gone, somebody will really correct that. Just saying.
Oh. Can I
go?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's already almost 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Come back so we'll go.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Is there anything else? Anything that anyone wants to add? All right. Aho,
Thank you for singing again, Melody.
I should have got my kids in here, made them sing.
I wanted you to. I couldn't get your attention.
Sorry, Grandma. I'll have to make them sing when I think.
They know it better than us.
Hey, next Wednesday, I don't know, I think we're all at home, right? So I'm willing to host a Zoom session next Wednesday at our regular time. If anyone wants to jump on and just say hi and talk and ask questions.
Is that Christmas Eve?
honey, it's the 23rd. So we can still meet. You know, I know it helps to talk to people for me anyway. So if you want to meet, I can send an invite out to everyone and just who wants to join next Wednesday for our regular session. Maybe I'll make my kids get on here and sing for you.
I have the kids, my boys, that'll be a goal for my boys to finish learning their piano songs, their Christmas songs.
Ooh, that'd be fun. We could do like show and tell.
There's the deadline, the 23rd.
Uh-oh.
I'll have Stephanie do his Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, cute. That'd be awesome.
What did Kevin talk about? I missed that.
Oh man, I can't believe you missed it. He talked about whenever he would drive up with his parents from New Mexico when he was little, and they would drive, you know, all day on the 24th and get to his grandma's house in Cache. And then magically in the morning, there would be bikes there for them and, you know, all Christmas presents. And he always wondered, how did that happen? You know, when he was little, he wondered, how did Santa know that they were going to be there when they were driving into the night? And as he was older, he wondered, how did his parents fit those bikes in the trunk of the car? And then he talked about, then they would eat and then they would go to Mount Scott, and he said that Christmas tree, he said when he was little, he always wondered why it was always so big, it like bent over in the roof of the church. He's like, why couldn't they ever make one that fit just right? And so those are the stories he told. He had one where he would talk about, but he didn't tell this one, about when he was little and he would go with his grandpa and they would cut the tree, and grandpa would go out and find the Christmas tree, and you know, he'd have to figure it out which one it was, and he'd cut the Christmas tree, and he'd have to tell that story, but anyway, I said tell that one, but he didn't tell it. But yeah, so that's what he told, and how it seemed like it was real long, and then finally Santa would come and they would get their Christmas bags, and he said he really held on to your Christmas bag so nobody else would take it and eat your candy. He said when they got home, I guess they'd have to write their names on him because somebody would probably always steal his candy.
The Apaches treated us good. They gave us our treat sacks today, my daughter and I. And they gave us a queen size blanket, you know, those plushy kind, the guy sells off of the truck. With the plushy, not the real, but they're pretty. They drop our food, my daughter and I, every day. And they've been so good through this stuff. They picked a lot of Kiowas up and tend to us. And when the pandemic started, they even gave us a food voucher. And they've got a good program going here.
Did you say that was the Apache?
The Apaches, Caddos, and Wichita, no, Delawares and Wichitas have been really extra good to the Kiowas. You don't have to go do anything in Carnegie.
That's good. They're taking care of you.
Yes, they are. I'm trying to draft a letter to put that to thank them, the 3 tribes, for picking up the Kiowas and Anadarko. Otherwise, we never thought of.
Who? Cricket.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'll get it soon. Hey, I need to.
Awesome. So I don't know if anyone wants to meet on a Sunday, but do you want to meet on a Wednesday? For sure.
Let me give that as a goal to my kids.
Okay.
That'll be on Wednesday.
Awesome. Hey, Grandma Dee and Grandma Dorothy, maybe we can listen to the Kiowa Culture Program recordings. I know there's some pieces that we didn't get to listen to yet about the Christmas memories.
When is Carnegie doing their outreach?
Hanya Haiga, I heard they were closed for sanitation or something, disinfecting. Hanya Haiga.
Is Freddie still on? Would he know?
Hane, I don't see them anymore.
I think you need to ask Tony.
Melody. Hey, Melody.
Monday.
Can you hear me? They're going to have their session tomorrow evening, and they're not going to do their outreach until January.
Oh, okay. But they'll have a session though tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow, yes.
That's good.
Regular session?
Yes, the regular session.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Did they film tonight?
Huh?
I
Yeah. I have the
thought so.
recording. It's still going. We're still on camera.
No, I thought they were gonna film us.
Oh, they were closed. Oh.
This is a real Kiowa Christmas. We have to go till midnight.
But we already saw Santa.
Yeah.
Santa and we already had our gospel reading, so we're good.
But now we just need the candy.
I know.
We need our fruit and nuts.
I need to mail everyone a treat sack.
Hey,
Oh, we got ours. They're full of, I told y'all.
get it one more. If we did this again next year, we'd have to get everybody to mail us if they wanted to come in November, and then we give everybody a treat sack. Mail it. That'd be fun. Uh-huh.
I want to start having meetings where we, mistakes or not, start talking Kiowa.
Huh.
Ah.
Grandma, I need to get better at my pronunciation. I need more practice talking so you can make sure I'm saying it right.
We need to really start talking Kiowa so we can start grading. You know, like, y'all are doing good. And Chelsea came.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I like this idea of reading and seeing if we can read it correctly.
And I thought of one more jawbreaker. Not a jawbreaker, a word I hadn't heard in a long time. They hop. Sot they hop.
Sot they hop.
I just thought of it. They hop. I guess you would spell it H-A-U-P. Phonics.
Hop. Sot they hop.
They hop. I just thought.
They hop. Oh.
I just realized.
Yeah. That's a better.
I just
hop.
realized.
I just thought they hop. And then I said something to Brenda today that was kind of funny, but I was hunting for these pictures that my sister gave me and Hog Creek. And I said, Hayala all hey begum. When you're hunting, you're sticking your head in every crevice and nick and cranny and you can't find something. I'm sticking my head in every place to look. She got tickled. Hayala all hey begum.
Hayala. What was that? Hayala.
All hey begum.
Hey, bacon.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing today, trying to find those pictures.
That's what I said, I can't find them. I got all hay begum.
It'll take me a year to find anything. I put things up, I don't know where they are.
You put it away really good, Grandma.
I know.
Hi yodel, or hi yodel, hodl, hey, bacon.
And then one word, mom pui. Mom pui. That's a word, just doing it any which way.
Mom,
just carelessly doing something. Mom pui.
Mon koi.
Pui.
Koi.
One of them spit out words. Mom pui.
Mon koi. Koi.
They go hayal mom pui bato.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. I don't know that one.
Mom pui.
I don't know that one.
Mom koi. Koi. Nasalized at the end. Koi.
If you get mad at somebody, you say oha pui. It's got that B sound. It's just
pui.
like a teasing wise or something. I'll get you. Oha pui.
When I'll just say, oh, go.
Oh, go. I'm on the.
Oh, go.
That's all I know. I need to learn something like that.
That's what my grandma Ruth said all the time. Oh, go.
Oh, go. I learned most of that from Cricket's great grandma.
Pui. Pui. Can I say that?
I think I typed that in on Facebook whenever Trump got president that first time.
Oh, God.
You can still type it every day.
How would you say? Trump mom calling them though. He kind of looks dragged out now. Mom calling them though. He's acting pitiful, same thing.
I don't remember how you said that. So I'm waiting for Dane to type it in.
Oh. Hyundai.
What Grandma Dorothy just said. Ain't what?
Mom calling them though. He's acting kind of pitiful.
Oh.
We put Trump in there first.
And when people would be arguing, they'd say, God, Grandma like to say, I call on they behind it. No, I go to call. If you're poor, get out of the way. I'm the one really poor. But what they were talking about is not material things. They meant in thoughts and just call on. And if you'll cut that, I did say that Grandma's words came to me when she'd say, Conte, don't I'll get go become go be. You say, poor thing, even I'm missing words. You know, when you're praying, don't I'll get go become. And that's real humble. I mean, I'm not acting it. I do miss words. Nobody is like our elders were. They could not one beat.
Oh, I just want to say I really am thankful about Grandma Dorothy when she talks about my family from the Redstone area. So, aho, Grandma Dorothy.
I knew them all, even Brenda's. See, I did say my dad was a member of Saynday, they said then, Native American church. And if Mom went to Rainy Mountain, then automatically she was baptized. I know Baptist. And so my sister-in-laws were Methodists, and we all turned out to be Roman Catholic. And it just stayed there. We never argued. They never argued with me. The only thing hard about being Roman Catholic is if you really get married, you stay on your knees for 2 hours. It's a nuptial mess. And I've been widowed since I was 50 years old, and I'm 87 now. Gonna be 88 this winter. It's a long time.
Oh.
Nobody's perfect, but I make the mistake of getting impatient. And if I lose patience sometime, it's not intended for anybody. It's just my nature. My children know me. So.
Oh.
Getting back to, I just never, it's all printed by my father. Excuse me, my father's name is spelled Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, I can correct that, Grandma D on the slides before we send it out to people.
How do you pronounce it? Mama always said Louis Toibo.
Yeah, well, they still called him Louis, but he spelled it Lewis.
Yeah, Louis. And Charlie.
And he's all, his Kiowa name is Odebohon.
Oh, he's that, what's his name?
Yes, his grandpa gave it to him after church one day.
And we lived across the field all our lives from Bernadine's folks. They lived right on the highway, and down where the land's divided, we lived on the other side. And
I was going to ask you one day, I was trying to think of all the Kiowa women that were around Walters, and that Keybone lady, who did she marry? Emma.
She married Frank Tabbytite.
A message has been received.
Frank Tabbytite, Comanche.
Tabbytite, oh, okay.
I think he was the half brother of Homer, Homer Buffalo, Mary Buffalo's boy. Homer Buffalo always went by the name Tabbytite because they said one of the Frank was his dad, but he was very wealthy and they lived in Walters. Emma raised her children. She had 2 beautiful daughters.
Emma, yeah, and then there was another Kiowa lady, Margaret Poolaw.
Who?
She married Margaret Poolaw.
Yeah, she married a Comanche name.
Cecil Tichwai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of Walters Comanches.
I remember Nema so good. We used to go to Walters in those days when they used to have that powwow down there at the park. And all of that, they were oil rich, or they raised horses, and very well, pretty families. Cricket, do you remember Emma?
Yeah, but the house I knew was in Anadarko when I was little. And then I remember she had these little bitty puppy dogs. And so my mom, when we'd be with visiting my grandmother and we'd go to her house, my mom would take me over there just to say hi. And so she had like lots of stuff that I just remember thinking you wouldn't be able to play in her house because it was like all this china and glass and everything. Like, so if you moved around, it would. I just remember sitting there thinking I could never run around in here. But she had these little dogs, and I used to make this little sound like, and her dogs would start crying, and she's like, "What's wrong with my dogs? Why are they crying?" And I was making them do that, and I thought I was sneaky. But that's what I remember about Aunt Emma.
I said she was a fancy lady.
That's awesome.
I'm sending something on the side. It's something I was going to show you last week, but I just since we're working on that, I don't want to pull it too far out. But let's see if it sends. It's that Kiowa Tales by Parsons, and it looks like it's successfully sent.
Oh,
But
cool.
I thought that was a good one, just because it has some of it doesn't have the Kiowa words to the songs, but it has some of the translations in there and all those old stories. So that's on the site. So if you want to download that, there was a PDF copy that I ran to, because it's kind of hard to find a copy of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess not so much now because of technology.
Did I ever show you guys the music I have that Apitone made? They're wind songs, and the music is on there. And Cricket, you tried it, didn't you, on a piano?
Yeah, I need to get Sophie because I had to pick it out piece by piece, and he'd pick it out really fast.
We had a student that had found those at the Blanchard Library, and he gave them to me, and I just put them away in my bag because I can't find anybody. Nanette can't even play it. So, and some of them are Sampy songs, and the others are different Kiowa songs, but they're printed into music.
Wow.
Apitone, I see that, and who were the others? But it was from that era.
That's a really good resource.
It was Rachel that tried to play them.
A message has been received.
I know someone was asking about a Kiowa Bible. And all I remember is the Summer Institute Wycliffe Bible translators. With the Kiowas, they were trying to do the Gospel of Mark. So I often wonder how far they got and where that, whatever they did, because they used to meet every now and then. The men who worked with the Wycliffe Bible translators, they were trying to do the Gospel of Mark, and I don't know whatever happened to it.
It's interesting.
Because it's the shortest gospel, so that's why they were trying to do that.
Oh, yeah, that's what the lady Sandra that asked that question, she said it Moses Pula, Charles Redbird, and William Wolfe. That's what she put in the chat box.
Yeah, it was the Gospel of Mark.
Huh, that's interesting.
It is.
I don't know whatever happened to it because I know that they didn't finish it. If they did, my dad would have had a copy.
Wow.
Oh,
if there are notes or anywhere.
I know. I remember listening to something by a man from Hobart where Mr. Noel played it for me, and it was funny. He said, I see, Jonah, all people get told ye. Jonah and the whale. But he said, Jonah was walking around in this fish's stomach. Jonah, all people get told ye. That would be interesting to translate. It's cute though.
Yeah, they were trying to do the Gospel of Mark, so I don't know whatever happened to it.
I wonder if that summer linguist, what is it?
They're the ones who were, yeah, sponsoring it. And they're the ones who did that Dog Kid Dog, that little red book.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
it was
Like
done
that.
there. And I know they were doing Mark, and then they have several, there were LPs, and then there were gospel, there were people giving their testimony in Kiowa. Then the women that went there, they sang a song that I never heard. It's a beautiful song. Never heard it since. I just only heard it on that recording.
Oh,
A
wow.
beautiful Kiowa hymn.
Wow.
I hooked up on this JJ's on Wednesday. What night is it? Thursday, where they sing just intertribal, and some of them are so pretty.
I'm glad they sing because anymore, Kiowas don't sing. We have a lot of hymns, but they do not sing. When I used to go to the prayer services, excuse me, I go to those around home, Carnegie. I sit and listen. There was just Freddie was the only one that was singing. He's not as old as some of those men that were sitting there. And they wouldn't sing. So there's a generation there that's not singing. That's why I'm glad those that JJ Mithman are. They're younger. They're about Freddie's age. But the older Kiowa men, they're not singing.
You know, if you really think of it, we don't have many left.
Well, I know that Iron was at a church, and was it that church that he was at, and he was singing and teaching them Kiowa hymns. Was that the church he was doing that at?
I don't know. Probably Boatcone, that's where he goes.
Okay, then that's what it
Yeah,
was. But
that's where he went. Yeah.
He was going there every week, he told me, for about a year, and teaching Kiowa hymns.
Yeah. But that's why I say the younger ones are singing, but his generation, they are not singing.
Yeah.
And then the younger ones are.
It skipped a generation, Grandma.
Melody. Melody.
Monday.
I'm going to sign out now.
Okay.
I gotta get my babies to bed.
Oh.
Okay,
well,
thank you.
have a good night,
Y'all have a good Christmas. Take
Oh.
care.
And they just have regular class tomorrow night.
So we might meet Sunday then?
That's up to y'all. If you want to meet, we can meet. But I would suggest that we meet next Wednesday in 1 week.
Okay, week from today?
Oh,
Okay.
We'll do that.
All right. Okay, good night.
Good night.
Go boy, Bonta. Aho, aho.
Hang on, oi, Bonta, Velma.
Oh, I don't know how to get out of here.
All right. Well, I guess I could end our session for everyone.
Meeting. How do I? Oh,
just push leave.
Oh, she figured it out. Okay. So we'll meet on Wednesday then. So not Sunday, we'll do Wednesday. And we'll listen to some more of the Kiowa Culture Program Christmas recording. We didn't get to part of it. We only listened to like the first half of it. So we can listen to the next half.
Are they closed because somebody has COVID?
They're moving. Is that why they're closed?
They said they're disinfecting, they're sanitizing or something.
Two
Oh.
times I heard they were gonna move right down here to by Amos Black's office where the Delawares were.
I keep hearing that, but they said they're not moving yet because I thought they were supposed to move what, last week or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't yet. They said they're packing up, but no move. They haven't moved. So, but
They,
they
in the,
What about the
Why
little-
do they not ever link up and listen to these outreaches?
Robin Bodiger was on there.
Oh, she
Who?
was?
Robin
Was she?
Bodiger. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see her.
They said they're not probably going to move till the first of the year. Is that right, Cricket?
Do they still own that one across where down from McKee's at the corner where they used to have an office?
Hanya Haiga. I'd have
They had
to.
a nice
yeah.
conference room and a nice, it was nice.
They said it was across the street from Lonnie's.
Oh yeah, then it's by Amos Black's old office.
Oh.
Okay.
I done something for the Delawares in there. And they were beating a drum and they were beating it so hard that the dust was coming down out of the stairwell and the walls.
Yo, it's gonna fall apart.
And that's a hard word. You're gonna fall down.
Damoba. Stuck again.
Oh yeah, she's
stuck. Dorothy is.
Dorothy's stuck again. No, there she is.
I went to see my.
Well, maybe we better sign off.
Okay.
I guess Christmas is over.
This, like I say, this is real Kiowa Christmas.
I know. I've enjoyed it. I haven't talked to nobody like this
I
this
did,
late. And
I did too. I had, let's see, what night were we with Warren? Monday?
Monday night.
Monday and today. Yeah, we sang. So I've been singing all week.
I've been listening all week.
Yeah, he had same Christmas, those songs that we sing. Yeah.
on the get call on, and I don't have anyone to talk to anymore.
I know. That's the way it is at home. I used to have, at home there was Pearl, used to go up there. And
I'll
then
pick up the phone and nobody, that I'm gonna ask if I have a doubt about something. And that's a lot of times.
well, that's the way I used to. And then at Carnegie, it's the same, that class. Juanita's gone, Helen.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Yeah. And that evening, Dolores, I left here and I thought, some of the girls remembered, I said, I'm gonna call Florine and ask her how you say it. I was talking about the timetables, from Rainy Mountain School. And just when we called off like this and I went in the kitchen, my kids came over. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
It's just too fast. And
yeah,
I went into it's just unbelievable. That's all. It's
yeah.
It got hard to.
Yeah, they're all going. Don't have anybody. Like I say, when I used to go up to the Kiowa
Yeah,
Conference.
you could ask, like that if you went over there or Hatson Batonga,
They won't know.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know what? You're the only one. If I ask anybody else, and she would kind of get upset with me. She'd say, "You don't know that." And I called the other one day and I said, "How do you say cedar tree?" Anasu. And she said, Hank, I said, I didn't ask you about a Christmas tree. I asked you how you said cedar tree, you see. And then
Yeah.
Red Toykoya used to catch me and he'd say, how do you say this? How do you say brains? Or something like that. And if I got stuck, I'd have to call Florine, but it's Cagope.
Who's Red Toykoya?
You remember Red Feather? He was.
Oh, you mean Red Feather? Oh, yeah.
He asked me one time, how do you say brains? I said, Cagope. And that's why they say Cagope. You know, and you remember when they called somebody, you know, they're crazy, no brains, Cagope.
Yeah.
Chicago pain, literally.
Cagope.
You spell it T-R-U-M-P.
Oh.
And I used to.
You spell it in Kiowa, T-R-U-M-P.
Hyundai, oh, they how you to buy Trump. When they emphasize it, they'd say Hyundai, oh, they go on border. So put dog. Hey, I got my hit of household today.
Hey.
Did y'all hear that? It is true.
It's a Christmas miracle.
What did you say?
Mia own him.
She got her.
What did you get?
500, and it said for help with anything like utilities or something.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah. I said, that was when you're happy, you say, Mia own him.
Yeah.
Hey, go bank get hey get copay to it the bank.
How do you say bank?
Huh?
How do you say bank? All auto?
All auto get copay. Mina own him, I got ya own ma. When you're happy and you're talking, just talking, afraid someone's gonna rob me.
Oh.
Monday so that's another one. Now, how would you decipher that? Hyundai oi.
So what?
When you say Hyundai oi.
Honda. I just Honda this.
I
just say Hyundai Hatso.
Yeah. Or Hate la dog. Hate la dog. Who do I think I am?
Or you say Hate la dog.
Yeah. Or you're aiming it towards yourself, you'd say Hate la dog. De mode zelbe on me. I was acting good. Who did I think I was?
Well, they say that if you want to compare somebody, you know, compare them like
dog is when you're talking about somebody else. Who do they think they are?
Yeah, well,
dog. But if you turn it on yourself, you're saying la dog. Who do I think I am?
Well, I was thinking about like once Sally Colity went over there, took my mother over there, and I asked where her oldest granddaughter was, Alpha, and she said she went to Rainy Mountain Church. She went to do something. What was she? That her granddaughters, they went to church there. Anyway, she said, that dog sleep, yeah, look at said, gone time my dog. So gone time I was Mrs. Goomdall. She's one of the first I mentioned. She's one of the charter members of Rainy Mountain. So that's what she said. I guess she thinks she's gone to ma.
Or they'd say, oh my, the dog.
Yeah,
Anatomon Gama, that means the lady.
Also a holiday.
Yeah, a holiday. They said Jack Hoagie said, how did he say it? A holiday. I dog. Mama said, that's a woman. It's not a man. He didn't even say it right either. It's a holiday. And he said, a holiday. I don't. My, that's a young. But a holiday. I dog. Me too.
Yeah.
Hundiga ko, hundiga mo get. Oh, they get the border. That's why I always say, let us last long enough to get at least some of these kids out so they can teach it.
We have to pray for somebody to replace those people that are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, Jackie. Hey, go bit high, ya do Dane going to my tongue. Thank you. The big court on my. I got it all hot. No.
Oh.
He got yeah. We said we listened good, and you guys are really speaking it. So another thing is if you guys would do this, if you want to learn certain words, write it down. And I could do private lessons with you on the phone. I mean, just to pronounce them, if nothing else.
I correct them anyway.
Yeah.
Whether they ask me or not. I don't charge them a thing. I just correct them.
And Florine used to say, "Zame." And that it doesn't make it any more effective if you say long or so kilo. Or they said Bo Silverhorn. I'll have to tell Donnie Topai sometime, his uncle. They were slicing a ham and he was watching them and he said, "Thin it sliced." He was gonna say slice it thin, but thin it sliced and long time. And the toy kilo when he lives way over there.
We were talking about churches, Courtney did that, but I have a cassette where it's that Lucille Poulaw and her family singing, and her sister talks, and she's Mary, Tartza?
Yeah, Mary Tartza. She's married
and
to
she
Joe.
told about her grandparents used to go to church at a church in Anadarko. And she said it was a low white church. And said there was then she sang a song. And then she said, this is a song that this man had a church. His name was Cardi. And so I wonder what church that was. I know who she's talking about. It's Joshua Gibbon. That's his Kiowa name, Cardi.
Yeah,
and he had
that's
a
Bucks,
church. And I don't know how long it lasted, but he went to Carlisle, and he was a brother. He's actually St. August's son.
Yeah.
And anyway, this Mary Tarsa said he had a church. He was a pastor. That's the first time. And I heard that. Who is this Kiowa that knew English and then knew enough, and then was a pastor way back when Anadarko was first founded, because it would be her grandparents, so that would be a long time ago. So later I heard my cousin Christina Simmons say that name, and she said that was Joshua Gibbons' name. And so that's an old church that I really never heard of, but she said her grandparents used to go there, and she sang a song that they used to sing, her grandparents. And so I'm saying that there are a lot of Kiowa hymns that aren't sung anymore. And she sang one, and then she sang actually four, about four that I never heard of. But she told that story that her grandparents used to go to this church that car they had. So I always wondered. I think he was a Presbyterian.
Cohorts would be buckskin, isn't it? Is that what it
yeah.
would be? Cohorts. And who was going hot? Hattie?
I can't think. That's all I know him by. He was around from the. Let's see. I don't know who his sister was, but he was around. He was married to William Wolf's sister, and then in later years he married Beulah Hall. Moses, that's his name, Moses. Now, do you know who it is?
No, I can't make the connection at all. I know they're Indian names.
I thought you talked about him one time. You said he had 6 toes.
He had
and
6
he used to wear
toes.
moccasins because he couldn't wear shoes.
Let me ask you something on the name. It connects with him. It just hit me. There was Hompo. Hompo was supposed to mean old Kiowa fish hook some way. And now in the agency it was spelled, and we pronounced it Hompo in English, Haumpo. And now everybody that has that name, it's with the N.
Yeah, I noticed that. I know I knew it as Haumpo.
Yeah. And now it's N, and it bothers me every time I hear somebody say that, because it was Hompo. Some way with old Kiowa, it meant fish hook, or fish, how you catch fish.
Well, I didn't really know what it meant, but I remember it being spelled with an M.
That was his wife. They had a real pretty home right outside of Mountain View on the first road south. And some way there's a connection to Jasper Sonke. Dad was friends with Jasper, very good friend. He was a United States Marshal.
Well, I don't know how that name changed, but I remember when it was spelled with an M.
Yeah, and now I would ask when it changed, because it was always Hompo. And that's who your pastor is now, huh? That young man?
Yeah. Yeah.
He used to be at Cedar Creek. I don't know who he belongs to.
Do I know? Yeah, his father's Moncaw son, Howard.
Really, Edward Hummingbird?
Well, he's younger than Edward Hummingbird. His name is Howard Hompo. I knew him as Hompo.
Oh, yeah, I know who you mean now.
And his mother was Nanny Spotted Horse.
Okay, I got it, because he was married to, he's married to one of the Tartsa women now, that guy.
No, he's not. Who?
He just lost a son, Humpo, Derek, from this COVID. The younger Humpo, you said, he's not, he's about middle age.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
When?
They lost him about a month ago.
I don't remember that. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. There's so many that I'm so superstitious I won't even list them because I just put them there. We've lost so many. They go to 80.
Dane, do you have a question or do you have something to tell us?
Hyundai.
Correct us
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
No.
No. Honey.
Honey.
You sure that read that? I heard the first part of your reading and then I went bloop. But you
Oh
done a
yeah,
good-
because when I played that Parker McKenzie thing, I thought you were still here. So I thought you were going to talk
I'm
about it
here
again,
laughing.
and then they said you got kicked off.
Shucks. I talked to Andrew the other day. I don't know what kind of stories they're doing from Parker's writings, him and Laurel and Daniel.
That's good. So I have a question. So my 10-year-old daughter, she wanted me to tell her how to say, "Please pass the Mountain Dew" in Kiowa. And she said, "Mountain." She's like, "What's that?" And I said, "Cope." And she said, "What's dew or water?" And I said, "Tone." And she said, "Okay, cope, tone." And then, so we were trying to figure out how to say pass me the soda. Give it to me.
Cope, tone, ain't Yes. Or ain't cope, tone.
Since we don't, I would just say, what is it? How do you say pop in Kiowa? What is it?
I seen it written.
This could be
Goodle tone.
No.
Tone goodle.
tone.
That's red water. What is that?
Is that what is that? How do you say it? Say it,
That
Dan.
could be strawberry drink.
He's trying to find
That one for
that.
just, I think for even like orange juice or any kind of sweet drink, I think tone tolon, tone. Or
Yeah,
tone
tone
tolon.
tola. And then that's an
I would
orange too.
I would just say "Don't ain't on" instead of making up Mountain Dew. Don't Mountain Dew ain't on.
Oh, I'll tell her.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Tone
instead of-
tola, that's sweet water. Hand me the tone
Tola.
tola. And that's
Tone
orange. That's
tola.
an orange too. Just a regular orange you peel.
Orange juice.
Tola.
Mountain.
And alaga. How would you say it, Dane? Alaga or alaba?
I've had to switch it around so many times. I think in my class, one set of my students says alaba, and the other set of students says alago, and I'll switch them up, and it throws them off, and it'll throw me off because I'll forget.
Alaga probably was one, and alaba was more than one.
That's what I kind of think.
Yeah,
when I think of
like
it.
the more alaga is one, and alaba is more.
So would that work too for watermelon? So if I said a soyego or a soyebo, would that work the same way? Or
I
no?
would think so.
Eso hey go. Eso hey ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just, to me, they're one and the same.
Yeah, ega and aba. Agot is one, isn't it? And then aba, abot, that's bread.
Well, I'm getting kind of fuzzy, can't think, so I'm gonna sign off. It's good to see you and visit with you and have Dane here to help us.
I know it. And then you're gonna sit in Sunday if we meet.
Oh,
Wednesday.
Did we decide that?
Wednesday.
We can't meet Monday. I mean Sunday.
If you want.
Even if we just do this.
If you want, Grandma. Yeah. I can send out an invite for Sunday if anyone just wants to ask questions and whatever. If you're not busy shopping. Hold on.
If the Cleveland Browns aren't playing, okay.
Okay.
Or what is it? Where does Kyler Murray play? The Cardinals?
Monday.
Yeah, what is Cleveland gonna be? It's gonna be Browns, not Indians now?
Hyundai.
Kevin said it's gonna be the browner ones.
Anyway, the Browns lost the
Oh.
last minute. Okay, we'll see you. Good night, everyone.
Oh.
Everyone.
Hey,
Good night.
Hey, go back.
You're staying up with us, Brenda. That's good.
Merry Christmas
Merry
to all,
Christmas.
and to all a good night.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Oh.